Tonight on Friday Night Hockey, the London Knights are one win away from returning to their second MasterCard Memorial Cup.
London, you've waited 40 years for this. Your team is about to win its first Memorial Cup.
The only thing standing in their way, the Niagara IceDogs. In a series that has seen the goalies go save for save, Niagara's offense has dried up and needs Mark Byzantine to steal a win.
Byzantine snares that one.
The young and hungry Knights look to put the final nail in the IceDogs' coffin in Game 5 of the Rogers OHL Championship Final. Next on Friday Night Hockey.
Hello to Dale looking in from Manhattan tonight. No better way to deal with those Game 7 nerves than by watching brother Mark handle the family business in a potential championship game. Dale has Holtby. Mark leans on Hauser, the multiple award winner in line to become the playoff MVP. He's dealt with disappointment being left off America's World Junior team. Mark Byzantine cracked Canada's roster twice, but now needs a 3-game run to avoid watching the other side celebrate again. It's the debut season of Friday Night Hockey, and it wraps up tonight with Game 5 of the OHL Final. It's London trying to join Shawinigan and St. John in the field for the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Darren Millard along with Nick Kypreos, glad to have you here. We'll get you to London in just a moment. Of course, Dale Hunter has Holtby and that raw rookie, but Mark has the exact opposite in a veteran goaltender in Hauser.
Yeah, and Michael Hauser's been their bread and butter all season long. He's the goalie of the year. He's the MVP of the Ontario Hockey League. And what he's been able to do is pretty remarkable, considering that, you know, the London Knights are a team that really weren't expected to be able to push to the levels that they are. They were really built for next year. They got a lot of guys that are returning next year, a lot of 17-year-olds, but for a 19-year-old now guy to come in and do this, and Darren, the best compliment you can give any goalie is he gives your team a chance to win every night, and that's what Hauser has done and continues to do, one game away from Memorial Cup berth.
And one of those young kids, Ole Matta, will be able to go tonight as we get you out to the John Labatt Center and join RJ Broadhead and Sam Cosentino. This is a team that's going with this youth, and youth is beating experience in this series.
Yeah, no question about it, and it's a bit of a surprise when you look at the experience that is on the Niagara IceDogs roster, but London was the top team during the regular season in the OHL. For them to win 2 in Niagara is significant to put themselves in this position, and as Darren and Nick talked about, it's being done by young players.
The youth is being served in London, and it's arrived on the scene a year ahead of time, like we saw with Windsor going back to the 2009. And here's Max Domi, who's one of that group of guys that has just been so dynamic. Excellent speed, good vision, great patience with the puck. An offensive player, along with the likes of Tierney, the Rupert brothers, and Ole Matta, have really carried the load offensively. And that's got to be a scary proposition for Niagara, considering that when guys like McKaig and Griffith and Watson start to go, now you're looking at a ton of scoring as deep as it goes, and the London Knights have that potential.
Well, talking to Marty Williamson before the game, there's not a sense of panic with the IceDogs, and there probably shouldn't be. When you look at that roster and the amount of star power they have, they just need to get some breaks.
Well, you know, London gets all the press, but you go up and down this Niagara lineup, and there are guys loaded with talent, first-round draft picks, Canadian World Junior players, and here's that list. It starts with Dougie Hamilton at the back end. You move down to Freddy Hamilton, and Ryan Strome, to me, is the key. I mean, he's a -5, just 2 points in the series, has yet to pick up a goal. He needs to start to get going, and once he does, I think the rest will start to follow. This is too talented a group to be down 3-1 in the series and on the verge of elimination here tonight.
Well, an important one to win at the John Labatt Center won't be easy if Niagara hopes to win this series. It's got to go 7 games. They have to win 3 straight. The problem with that, Darren, is London hasn't lost 3 in a row all season long.
Looking forward to the opening faceoff. The last 2 OHL top goaltenders are in this series. Can Byzantine match Hauser?
You know, that's the big question everybody wants to hear, and you look at him, and there's a lot to like about him. He's very athletic. He did pretty much what Hauser did this year. He did last year. You mentioned goalie of the year. It got him a berth, or at least being drafted in the first round by Phoenix, 27th overall. Mind you, that was before Mike Smith showed up. But nonetheless, he's a good goalie. But go back to the World Championship in Buffalo, Darren, where he had a 3-0 lead, and he couldn't close it out. 5 consecutive goals by Russia. And all of a sudden now you wonder about Byzantine and what happens when he needs to rise up to the occasion when you need him. And flat out, he's been outplayed by Hauser. And it's not necessarily that Byzantine has to come back and win this series, but tonight he has to win.
But does that start to play in your mind that I've been close in a couple of team performances?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It plays in his mind and other people watching him. And like I was just about to say, I don't think he has to come back and win this series, but I think he has to steal this game tonight to prove to people that when you absolutely have to come up with a big game, you can. Right now, people are doubting him in that capacity right now.
They have the best offense and the OHL's best defense when it comes to goals against average. Can they put it all together tonight? Ole Mata topped the Knights in points. He's 14 better than the next best rookie. He is the Knight on a potential big evening in London on Friday Night Hockey.
Friday Night Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. For everything you need to compete this season, there's MasterCard. By Old Dutch, the official chip of the CHL. With Old Dutch, quality lives here. And by Cal Tire. Brands you can't find anywhere else. Cal Tire, true service.
Elsewhere in this CHL season that's winding down, the Western Hockey League Championship Series now belongs to the Edmonton Oil Kings, who are up 3-2. Game 6 goes Saturday night in Portland. Mark Pissick grabbed a dramatic 4-3 overtime victory last night over Portland. Meanwhile, in the QMJHL, St. John against Rimouski, and Stanislav Galiev notched his second of the game last night. A natural hat trick, 3 goals, 2 assists. St. John routs Rimouski to advance to their second straight MasterCard Memorial Cup. Congratulations to Gerard Gallant and the entire organization. That's a series that started slow for the defending champions, but they finished playing St. John hockey.
Yeah, they really did, and I don't know what kind of start last week they had, but certainly Gerard Gallant wasn't too happy, and it's almost as if that he called that one timeout late in the hockey game, and it just seemed to turn everything over. You look at this hockey club, and there's the same list of cast of characters that we saw last year win a Memorial Cup with the likes of, Zach Phillips, Yurko, Galiev, you just mentioned, Huberdeau, who's obviously the first rounder, 3rd overall of Florida. But one guy that you're going to keep an eye on now going into the Memorial Cup, Charlie Coyle. This is a guy that they picked up out of college in January. And I tell you what, we had Gerald Gallant on the Hockey Central at noon today. Says he's the real deal. This guy plays every which way, both ends of the ice, and he's got a great touch for such a big, strong guy.
Gerard.
G-man. G-man, the G.
If he wins back-to-back as a coach.
You call him Gerard. I call him the G-man.
Looking forward to hooking up with the St. John Sea Dogs again at the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Shawinigan is in, St. John is there, and now London trying to claim the J. Ross Robertson Cup and make it 3 of the 4 teams secure in the MasterCard Memorial Cup. This is Friday Night Hockey on Sportsnet. More than just the trophy handed out to the St. John Sea Dogs, Charlie Coyle named the Guy Lafleur Trophy winner, QMJHL's playoff MVP. He's going to add a different dynamic to the defending MasterCard Memorial Cup champions in Shawinigan. And Elliot Kerr, Mississauga businessman, has taken over ownership of the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors, but the team will be rebranded with a new name and a new logo as Eugene Melnick bows out there. Guelph Storm starting a sting to get CHL honors in 2012 and 13. And Sven Barchi named the CHL Player of the Week with 4 goals and 1 assist in 3 games. But his team trails 3 games to 2 in the Western Hockey League Championship Series. Standing by in London, we'll get you there for the start of Game 5 in just a moment. Darren Millard along with Nick Kypreos. Niagara has all the stars. Can they be aligned tonight?
Yeah, they can. Absolutely. And let's not forget that the favorite in this team was Niagara because they're a more experienced hockey team. But they're just going to have to be a little smarter in how they try to win this hockey game tonight. You got to be a patient team. If you take a look at London, and obviously now we see the success of the Washington Capitals, that's the blueprint of what Dale's been doing with the London Knights. They're a trapped team. And what the Niagara Falls Niagara's going to have to do is just be smart in the neutral zone. They got to put pucks in deep, but they got to put them in a way that they can retrieve them. Hauser's good. He handles the puck a lot. Tends to maybe play to the right side a little bit too much, but they're going to have to be smart in retrieving pucks and get a forecheck game going.
Now, the offense is there for Niagara, but it hasn't been the last couple of games. So can you flick that switch, or how easy is it to turn it on in a scenario like this?
Well, much like any team that traps and has great goaltending, you're going to want to get the first goal early here and really establish something and maybe hopefully get London to open up a little bit. But yeah, Darren, the first goal will go a long way for Niagara.
Impressive, though, in what we've seen from London, in the sense that for the first 4 periods, Niagara was far and away the better team. But despite being young, London's been able to turn the tide.
You know what? They're an intelligent hockey club, especially with the fact that what we said as many as 7 17-year-olds. That doesn't even include a guy like Max Domi, who just turned 17, I think, a month ago. These guys are smart, intelligent players, and they're competitive, and that's why.
So where does that composure come from?
You know what, Darren? I think it's just they do a wonderful job of scouting players and obviously doing their homework. You know, you get young players like that can adapt quickly to a system. I think it speaks volumes of perhaps their minor hockey system or the coaches that they've had in the past, because it's not a lot of time for 16 and 17-year-olds to come in and adapt so quickly. But these guys have been doing it at a remarkable rate. Which
Hunter would rather have, Hauser or Holtby? It's a toss-up right now, isn't it? A Holtby?
I bet you if Holtby went down and somehow Dale could get Hauser up there, I don't think he'd have a problem with it.
Well, Hauser's played with a chip on his shoulder all year. He was snubbed by the American World Junior squad, and obviously is an undrafted player and is going into this draft year in Pittsburgh and building up his stock.
You'd be hard-pressed now to find a better goalie in the CHL than Hauser. Yet, I think in North America, he's only ranked, 16th. Amongst goalies available in North America. I find that unbelievable. Why he's not higher, I have no idea.
We'll talk to you in the first intermission, but right now to the third member of our broadcast team in London, Rob Faulds.
Darren, thank you very much with Ryan Rupert. Ryan, the work ethic of the London Knights has certainly been on display in this series.
Yeah, it's the little things that got us well. Good defensive play, blocking shots, and well in the forecheck, and we're just creating a lot of offense from that.
Tell me what you want to do as a team against the Ice Dogs in the early going of the first period.
Well, the crowd's ecstatic right now, so if we get the forecheck going the first 10 minutes and use them to our advantage and get lots of shots in net, and we should be good with this one.
Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Ryan Rupert is ready to go. So too are the London Knights, and I think so too are the guys who are going to call it. They are pumped and primed. Let's join RJ Broadhead and Sam Cosentino.
Thanks, Rob. And those eyes on Ryan Rupert. He is fired up. Starting Goaltenders brought to you by State Farm. Visit statefarm.ca for a dedicated agent near you. For the Niagara IceDogs, it will be Mark Byzantine, the 19-year-old from Waterdown, Ontario, first-round pick of the Phoenix Coyotes. He's allowed 13 goals in this 4-game series. They need a big game from him. Michael Hauser, another award coming his way. Already the goaltender of the year, the player of the year. Now he's a first-team All-Star member from Wexford, Pennsylvania. Michael Hauser has been fantastic for London. One of the reasons they are 1 win away from the J. Ross Robertson Cup. And we are underway with the Knights, a 3-1 series lead on home ice, a chance to wrap up the OHL Championship. Right away, a puck thrown in front. Hauser was wandering. No problem for the Knights. They get it back out to center. And Matt Rupert, the twin of Ryan Rupert. They're from Grand Bend, Ontario, and they are tenacious out there. Matt Rupert, a quick chance. Byzantine able to stop that. Austin Watson from Ann Arbor, Michigan. He throws it in front. That was up high. Finally comes down. Ryan Rupert decides to keep possession, gives it to his captain, Jared Tenorti. Tenorti scores! Well, the linesman's waving it off. The referee pointed to the net. The linesman right away waves it off on the offside. What a strange play that was to start the game.
Yeah, and you see Mark Byzantine knew the call was coming, and so he turned his attention away from the puck because he knew the whistle was going to be called, yet the puck was still dumped in by Tenorti and ends up going in the net. Now watch as Rupert sends it back out. You can see there's a last player right side of your screen has yet to get out of the zone. As the puck goes in, it actually goes towards Byzantine and in, but immediately it's the linesman waves it off. And here's another look at it for you. And you'll see Watson just a little late getting out of the zone. The dump in from Tenorti gets by Byzantine. The crowd goes crazy, but all for naught as it's an offside. And the faceoff will be in the neutral zone back towards the London Knights blue line.
41 seconds in. Wouldn't that have been the start the Knights wanted? Just a stride.
Just like saying you're going to get the right date to the prom and you get sick at the last minute.
Ole Mata setting things up behind his own goal. What a revelation he's been in the postseason for the London Knights. Leads them in scoring. 17-year-old rookie. Seth Griffith calmly takes it over the line. Rolls it into the far corner. Tyler Ferry moves it behind the net. Nemeshnikov uses the boot to kick it back to Ferry. Tom Kunak will take a bump from Griffith. Now he's got to work hard along the boards to get this one out. Gets a little help from his defenseman, and Scott Harrington will send it right back in. A good start here for the Knights.
And you know what? I think it needed to be the exact opposite. I think Niagara really needed to come out and establish early on, try and take the crowd out of the game. That hasn't been the case so far.
Quick shot. Hauser's first test. No problem for him. Scott Harrington, hard pass. Tenorti has it. Had to look around before he retained possession. Scott Harrington off the glass. That'll go into the Niagara zone. Jesse Graham leads it for his defense partner, Jamie Alexiak. He was one of those members of Team Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Funny playing beside Graham.
There's a little difference in size.
Yeah, Manute Bull and Muggsy Bogues.
Here's the keys to the game, brought to you by Irwin Tools. Irwin Tools invites you to celebrate National Tradesman Day on September 21st.
Marty Williamson's Niagara IceDogs can't go into this game thinking that they can't lose. They really need to apply themselves and play their game. And, you know, if you're the London Knights, you want that age to get ignited. You want some of your older guys to get going. The McKeggs, the Watsons, the Griffiths. Not that they haven't helped win by playing a good defensive game and blocking shots, but if they can add to the offense that the young guys have brought, it's going to spell a lot of trouble for Niagara.
Bo Horvat back in the lineup. Jared Knight's nursing an injury, so he's out. Horvat's back in. Andreas Athanasiou, he came in game 4 and produced an assist, so he stays in the lineup, and that's a luxury Mark Hunter has. He's got some guys sitting out that are capable of stepping in at any point.
A lot of depth and a lot of youthful depth.
Kevin Rain, chance to clear here. Gets it ahead to Josh Anderson. He has that one picked off along the boards by Joel Weigel. Brett Cook knocks it down, the only overager in this London Knights lineup. Niagara on a change. That gives Knights a little bit of time. Andreas Athanasiou, he wheels it out to center. Rolls one slowly into the Niagara zone. Milan Dudera, he's back in the lineup. Brock Bukaboom, the son of Jeff Bukaboom, he's unable to go tonight, so Dudera seeing his first action of this series.
Took a hit in that second period of the game, and the Niagara IceDogs went to the league for some sort of supplemental discipline. No call in the play, no supplemental discipline, an unfortunate upper body injury for Brock Bukaboom.
Well, Dudera is one of those guys that can come into the lineup where Marty Williamson just didn't have an opportunity to get him in.
Mercer there on the bench. And you talked a little bit about Cook being the only overager for London. How about this trio for the Niagara IceDogs? Andrew Agozzino and Pecan, all playing in their final junior seasons, and they have performed well to this point in the playoffs, but that's a trio that Marty Williamson would really like to see get going here.
Well, they're out there now. Agozzino, the captain, third year as the captain for the Niagara IceDogs. Ryan Rupert kicks it behind the goal. Matt Rupert throws it back to brother Ryan. Hits the referee. Now Matt Rupert has possession. In front of the net, all alone there was Ryan Rupert, and it didn't get to him. It doesn't get out either. Austin Watson, he snaps one on goal, and it's caught by Byzantine.
Well, just before we went to that graphic, we showed Mercer on the bench, and he is still feeling the ill effects, and it was a shot from Ryan Rupert, who's out there now, and these Rupert brothers tend to be in the mix at all times. A little pencil to try and stop the bleeding, and there's a solid shoulder / elbow delivered to the facial area of Mercer. And I'll tell you what, the Rupert brothers, they in a bad term you'd call them greasy. In a good term you'd say guys you'd love to play with and hate to play against.
Well, they're fearless out there. Seth Griffith Didn't have a point in the last game. He hasn't gone back-to-back games without a point in this postseason, so expect number 17 to do a little something.
But he has done a lot of good for this London Knights team. Out there blocking shots, playing a good two-way game, and he's contributed in those areas.
Seth Griffith moves it back to Tommy Hughes. Low shot, didn't get to the net. David Picard battling with Nemesnikov. Nemesnikov won that battle, but Pecan winds up with a puck. Freddy Hamilton leads the Ice Dogs in scoring in this postseason. They need a big game from him. Jesse Graham, draft eligible, one of those players that's always moving, whether it be warm up or in a game. He flies around out there. Greg McKegg along the boards. He's battling with Brett Ritchie. Scott Harrington digging away at the skates of Ritchie. Harrington will come up with a puck. Max Domi. He's bumped by Shipley right away. He's got support there. Knights able to get it out to center. Jared Tenorti, what a postseason for him. Had 2 goals in the regular season, has 3 in the playoffs.
And his game is really built going back to the World Juniors. I thought he was the best player for Team USA there. His game has grown and grown, and he has been amazing in this playoff run for the London Knights.
Tommy Hughes, the only defenseman without a point for London in this series. He'll play out there with Ole Mata, and that gives Mata a little bit of freedom to be able to jump into the play, and an icing here against the Knights.
The Niagara IceDogs and Marty Williamson, the head coach, have a huge task ahead of them here, but you can't start thinking about 7 games and winning a series. You need to go out and win it shift by shift, period by period, and allow the chips to fall where they may after that. If you start thinking about coming back to win the series, you'll forget about the task at hand. So Marty Williamson trying to focus his group on the here and the now.
Approaching 6 minutes played in the first period. Each team has a shot. Not a lot of offense early on. Alexiak, first-round pick of the Dallas Stars. His pass picked off. Josh Anderson will chase it in the corner. He'll get to it. Moves it behind the net to Athanasiou. Alexiak pins him up against the boards. Now Anderson on it again. Alexiak might have a moment here to make a play. That one comes out to center. Brett Cook takes a look, puts it right back in. Maybe something the Knights are trying, putting these pucks on goal on Byzantine from center ice.
Well, but they know he likes to play the puck, so if he's trying to cheat to get out there to stop the puck on a hard ring, he may get caught doing that. It's a good strategy by London.
Weigel was knocked down in the neutral zone. That got the crowd at the John Labatt Center into it. Another icing against London. A quiet start to Game 5 of the OHL Final.
Behind the London bench with Mark Hunter. Mark, both RJ and Sam have noticed that you're trying to get pucks deep and on net and then chase.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get him to handle the puck and see what he can do with it, because he's so good behind the net, and we're just trying to build off this energy of the building.
Now, is that one of the things you also have to control, is being too energetic early?
That's where we got to be careful of. Got to be patient here, not play both ends, all 3 zones, and play solid defensively.
Coach, thanks very much.
Thanks, Rob.
Mark Hunter and his team trying to get the first mark on the board.
A seamless transition, Fauldsie, between Dale Hunter and Mark Hunter.
Agozzino threw one near the front of the net. Ryan Strome. This will be the big line for Niagara. Alex Friesen circling in the corner, trying to create a little space. He does so. Friesen comes out now. Now he's got to circle back. Tenorti didn't give him an inch. Strome has it behind the goal. First round pick of the Islanders. Strome hasn't scored in this series. That shot's deflected way up and over the net.
See Mercer still unable to come back. It's Rover out there now with Hamilton.
Strome got the puck to Friesen, but he couldn't get a shot away. Crowd's into this. A cheer as Niagara had some pressure in the Knights zone, but they were able to clear it, and the crowd was all over that. Austin Watson picks off that Byzantine pass. 2 big bodies there. Alexiak bumping with Watson. Freddy Hamilton, so responsible defensively. He's in there to pick up the loose puck.
He moved over to the center position in Game 4 and once again here in Game 5. Great in the face-off circle and maybe a little more responsible and more comfortable there. That's where he played for Canada at the World Juniors.
Byzantine playing the puck once again. That one's on the tape of Jesse Graham, who makes a nice move. Graham's draft eligible, ranked 125th among North American skaters. Hauser does the wraparound. Seth Griffith takes a look around. A nice little chip. Nemesnikov in a foot race against Kuhnhackl, and Nemesnikov has the puck in front of the net. Ferry, that shot just misses. Great burst of speed from Nemesnikov. Mata behind the net. Ferry knew it was going there. He went there and picked it up. Alexiak throws it ahead to Freddy Hamilton. Ferry chips it, doesn't get it out. Dougie Hamilton's shot doesn't get through. David Paquin gets it into Mitchell Theoret. Theoret had a big goal in that Ottawa series on Friday Night Hockey. He scored in overtime to help Niagara win game 1 of that series. Quick shot from Paquin. Diving to get that puck out, and that'll get the crowd into it again was Ferry. That line was out there a long time. Dougie Hamilton jumps into the play. His shot hit a leg, didn't get to the net. Shipley along the boards, property of the Buffalo Sabres, moves it behind, hoping Brett Ritchie can get to it. Ritchie does after he knocks Scott Harrington down. Shipley behind the net. A 2-on-2 behind the goal. In front of the net is Brett Ritchie trying to find a little space. Shipley trying to dig that puck loose, side of the net. Hauser with a save, and Ritchie had his stick knocked out of his hand. Theoret another chance, puck still loose. Harrington gets it, and it comes off the glass out to center. Couple of great chances for the Ice Dogs. Brett Ritchie. Line mates are changing. He's 1-on-4. Dudera can't keep that puck in, and Jamie Alexiak will have to go back into his own zone.
Dudera lightly played here in the playoffs, so the timing just might be a little off there as that puck hops over his stick.
Best scoring chance of the game went to the Ice Dogs. Hauser out of his net, and that one is cleared up and over, and that will be a penalty as Kevin Rain will head to the penalty box, and the Ice Dogs will get a chance on the power play next.
Tonight's Power Plays, brought to you by Rogers, creating world-leading internet experiences.
Kevin Rain goes to the box, and you could just see it in his eyes. We have a perfect vantage point with that puck on end because Hauser didn't flatten it. Just trying to flick it out of harm's way. Rain sends it over the glass, and the Niagara IceDogs go to work in the power play.
This was the #1 power play during the OHL regular season. Hasn't been quite as sharp in the playoffs. Went 0 for 4 in game 4. Dougie Hamilton moves it over to Alex Friesen. Hamilton's caught, ready to fire. Friesen elects to shoot. That didn't get to the goal.
Agozzino on that high slot. They want him to deflect pucks from that long distance.
Ryan Strome, he comes out of the corner. Strome's pass found a seam, got to Dougie Hamilton, and Hamilton's pass went off Austin Watson.
And that's the thing, you have to make an adjustment. If Agozzino's covered in the middle of that box on the high deflection, you have to find a way around it and still get pucks to the net in some other fashion.
Agozzino, a 40-goal scorer during the regular season. Strome has it knocked away from him, and Austin Watson, who's been so good killing penalties and blocking shots for London, takes it and sends it into the Niagara zone.
When you have one of your older players, a first-round pick, committing to team defense and sacrificing his body, it's hard for others not to follow.
Agozzino leading the rush, threw it in front of the net. It's into the skates of Griffith, and he just slaps it down the ice. Not much happening in the first minute of the Ice Dogs power play. Alex Friesen gets to center. He'll slap it in from there. Hauser can't stop it behind his goal. Griffith comes up with a puck, and he'll loft another one down into the Niagara end. David Paquin, drafted by Chicago, now property of the Florida Panthers. Leaves it for Shipley. Second unit now out there for the Ice Dogs. Ole Mata's on it. Not much change with his second unit. Knights send it out again.
You know, it's a good idea to dump the puck in, but you have to be first on it. Puck retrieval is so key, and the London defensemen have done a good job once that puck's dumped in to get it, turn, and fire it down.
Norty rifles one around the boards. That one's blocked by Kuhnhackl. Graham over to Paquin. Paquin back to Graham. No shooting lane. Gives it to Kuhnhackl. He'll take a shot, blocked by Tenorti. Graham again, the stick of Byzantine banging on the ice. The penalty's over. Paquin's shot. That hits a body in front, and Nemesnikov tried to send Rain away out of the penalty box, and the pass was behind him.
Great job in the block shot department once again for the London Knights. They've been doing that all series.
Well, no problem on the penalty kill for the Knights early on in this first period. Tenardi can't get this puck out. How about Athanasiou? He'll circle back into his own end and just get it out to the neutral zone. Bouncing puck, took a bad hop on Domi. Athanasiou was there, dropped it off, and Verhaeghe intercepted. Kevin Rain right back out there. Gives it to Brett Cook. Didn't get much on that. Weigel picks that one off. Now Brett Cook trying to steal it away again. Kevin Rain bumps with Carter Verhaeghe. Weigel and Cook having a good battle in there. Mercer comes in, chips it away from Domi. Now Greg McKegg trying to find a little space. Gets it ahead to Domi. That went under his stick, but got out of the zone. Rain will set things up. Ice Dogs on another change. Ryan Strome, top of the circles, keeping a close eye on the Knights as they try to break out. Bouncing puck. Athanasiou comes in. His shot off the stick of Mercer. Didn't get to Byzantine. Tommy Hughes to his defense partner Ole Mata. Quickly ahead to Athanasiou. He chips one into the Niagara zone. Dougie Hamilton, defenseman of the year in the Ontario Hockey League. Also a first-team All-Star. Should mention Scott Harrington, a first-team All-Star and runner-up defenseman of the year. So we're getting to see both of those guys.
Well, speaking of defensive play, how about the Washington Capitals and Dale Hunter? One thing he's committed his Capitals to is blocking shots. You got guys like Brooke, like even Alexander Ovechkin committing to that, and as a result, they've been able to push the Rangers to the brink of elimination in the Game 7. Well, it's no different for Mark Hunter and the London Knights. Guys like Seth Griffith, Matt and Ryan Rupert, everyone blocking shots. That's why Jared Knight's out of the lineup, and you'll see similarities between these two coaches in the way they play with a defense-minded style of game first, believe it or not, for teams that often score in Washington and here in London.
Well, it has worked for the Hunters in both places.
It's a trap and transition type of game, and I think everyone felt like Dale Hunter coached a team that was just all go and show offense, but you have to have good players in order to trap and transition. London does it well. Washington's starting to apply that system as well.
Finally not playing on the same night, so Dale gets to watch tonight. Mark will be able to watch tomorrow night.
And you know, they will both be watching intently with eyes, and there'll be phone calls back and forth to one another.
Austin Watson walked right in front, got a shot away, and it was stopped by Byzantine, and now the rough stuff starting up with the Ruperts.
There's a shocker.
They are relentless. Byzantine keeps the Knights off the board. Here's the top scorers in the OHL playoffs, brought to you by Prestone. Visit www.prestone.com to enter Prestone Skate with a Hockey Star contest.
A couple of Kitchener Rangers still leading the way, but Freddy Hamilton and Ryan Strome chipping in behind there. They'd like to move up to the top of that list by the time the night is over. And Ole Mata, what a playoff run he's having here in his draft eligible year. His game has come oh so long and oh so far, especially since playing for Finland at the World Juniors.
Oh, here's a shot from Ole Mata from the point. That didn't get through, but Ferry's on it. Seth Griffith leaves it for Ferry. Now Nemesnikov. Nemesnikov's riding a 5-game point streak. Dougie Hamilton's lead pass. Kuhn Hankel wastes no time. One touching it over to Pecan, but the Ice Dogs can't get it in deep. Ole Mata, not only is he putting up points, but big points. In this series, he's been in on every game winner for the Knights.
Yeah, I think he's vaulted himself into a top 10 position in the upcoming draft.
Let's go to Rob Faulds. Rob.
RJ, we know 2 of the 4 teams that will be at the MasterCard Memorial Cup, and it will all start with a preview show coming up next Thursday at 10 Eastern on Sportsnet 1. And that, of course, leads us to the big show, the MasterCard Memorial Cup in Shawinigan. It will be the WHL against the host team Friday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific.
Boy, did St. John put an exclamation point on that President's Cup Championship, an 8-0 win sweeping Rimouski, and they're going back to defend their title.
And they sure are, and trying to put themselves in the conversation as one of the best junior teams ever. And another hoisting of the cup would surely put them in that conversation. They're not too far from it right now.
Gerard Gallant, Mike Kelly, Scott McCain, Wayne Long, a good organization there and a great team. They'll be tough, no question about it, trying to defend that title. Who will be there? with them. Will it be the Knights? Will Niagara be able to come back in this series? Game 5 of the OHL Championship. 4:20 to go here in this first period. Still awaiting our first goal here in Game 5.
And you know, that's the one area where London's been really good. Considering they have a young team, they've been patient. They've allowed things to come to them. And you look at the goaltenders in this series, you have Mark Byzantine with all his accolades, first-round pick, two-time World Junior against Michael Hauser, the OHL's goalie of the year. And Hauser winning that battle right now. He's faced plenty more shots, though, 38 more than Byzantine has in this series. But a lot of those shots that Niagara's taken from the perimeter, not a ton of great scoring chances, although early in Game 4 had a couple, just couldn't capitalize.
It's a big key in this series, the way Hauser has played, and teams feed off that. There's a lot of confidence in this Knights team, not afraid to make mistakes. Knights have been able to capitalize on IceDogs mistakes in this series.
Yeah, and that's, you know, Marty Williamson saying we just haven't had enough time to feel good about ourselves when we do something right. And this guy's a big part of that. Michael Hauser, that every time you know, Niagara wants to build a 2-goal lead or a 1-goal lead, he's been able to close the door and give his team a chance to come back the other way and either tie things up or just stem the tide momentum-wise. Hauser's a big reason behind that.
Greg McKegg didn't play in the Kitchener series, little banged up, but it was a sweep for London. They had the luxury of being ahead in that series. Probably could have come back if it had gone deeper, but decided to rest him. He's back now for the OHL Championship. Hauser, lots of time to play that puck. Got it to Matt Rupert. Didn't like what he saw. Sends it back to his captain, Jared Tenorti.
How about the minutes this duel's playing already? Harrington, Tenorti, they're out there every other shift.
Well, they would not be any fun to play against. You won't get a lot of scoring chances with them. Maybe one here. Austin Watson. He's had about 3 good chances. Ryan Rupert comes out of the corner. His pass to Tommy Hughes. Not a good angle off the board, so Hughes will have to go back into his own zone to get it. Molly Mata quickly ahead. Jamie Alexiak, a bouncing puck. Now he's got control and he sends Freddy Hamilton away. That pass doesn't hit anybody, and that will be an icing.
Just a little off right now, the Niagara IceDogs. Austin Watson with a good chance. And there it is. It's just a puck turned over, and that's happened far too many times in this series, and a big reason why London is ahead, because when they've been able to take advantage of those turnovers, a lot of times they've capitalized. Watson with a good chance there on a defensive zone turnover by Niagara.
Griffith wins the faceoff. Nemesnikov along the boards, gives it to Seth Griffith. Not much room there to operate. Puck comes loose, and Alex Friesen jumps on it. Sends it into the corner. David Pacan. He has his pocket picked by Ole Mata. Mata skates in front of his goal. Does that have enough to get out? It's kept in by the skate of Rover momentarily. And now Nemesnikov. A one-on-one against Dougie Hamilton. Seth Griffith coming in. Griffith circles the net. Pass to Scott Harrington. He had to take it on his backhand. Now Nemesnikov off his skate, and the IceDogs just flip it high at the center.
And there's Tenorti and Harrington right back out there.
Nemesnikov, he's pinned against the boards by big Jamie Alexiak, listed at 6'7". He might be taller than that.
He is man mountain. It's like Big John Studd with that beard.
In front. Oh, that hit the post. What a great chance there by Mitchell Theoret. That was square off the post. What a game of inches. All of a sudden, the IceDogs get the great chance. You know, Marty Williamson wants another look at that one.
Good play by Athanasia to come back on a pickpocket.
Greg McKegg, front of the net. Domi's shot misses the far side. Alex Friesen hustles on that puck. Friesen gets it to the line. He'll take it all the way in. Tried to get around Hughes, and Hughes knocked him down. Ole Mata. He'll jump into the rush now. His pass picked off by Ryan Strome. Now the Athanasia again back in a good defensive position to clean up those scraps. Into the final minute of this first period. IceDogs fresh off hitting a post. Ryan Strome starting to dance in there. Strome Can't get around Tenorti to get a shot. Circles the net. Mercer decided not to shoot. Friesen against Harrington. Friesen comes up with a puck. Friesen to the dot. Loses his balance, and now that'll give the Knights an easy clear. A foot race. Mercer, Rupert, Byzantine out to play it, and that's hard off the glass. Strome's cross-ice pass finds Freddy Hamilton. He had to stop to get it, though, so all he could do was dump it in.
There's the luxury of a goaltender that can play the puck. Just when everyone got excited, he came out hard off the glass, got it out. Niagara able to transition.
Ryan Rupert, maybe a chance here. 12 seconds to go in the first period. Rupert looking for reinforcements. Just sends it in deep. Alexiak moves it over to Dougie Hamilton. 3 seconds to go, and Dougie Hamilton from his own circle in his zone will send it down the ice, and that is it for the first period. Shots 7 apiece, but no goals, although there was a close call. Ice Dogs late in this first period.
Michael Hauser 7 saves, and the goalpost makes 1. It's cleared out to the front of the net, and here point blank Theoret hits it dead square. I mean dead square. Comes straight back off the post and out, and that's the kind of luck the Niagara IceDogs have had most of this series.
They have not had many breaks. That's a break for the Knights. 0-0 thanks to some good goaltending and a post. Let's go back to studio. Here's Darren and Nick.
Final couple of minutes, a great advertisement for the second period because the first 18 minutes, very close to the vest. I counted unofficially 15 icings.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't send 2 guys in on a forecheck. And I think Niagara came out and said, if we don't believe that we can get on the puck, we might play London at their own game and just sit there and try to, siphon them out of the neutral zone, because right now this is what we're seeing is a lot of time here. Won't send one guy in and you just hope that the puck can turn over. It's worked well for London in this series, so maybe Niagara's sitting there going, hey, listen, let's play a patient game here. Let's not find ourselves down a goal or 2, and let's just wait this thing out.
Power plays are hard to come by with a lack of flow, but London really got a break from the Ryan Rupert hit.
Yeah, and when you look at the Ontario Hockey League, and obviously there's concern as anyone about concussions, and they want to take be on the forefront with head hits.
Well, this violated Rule 48.
Well, that's what I said, and I'm sitting there going, okay, now if we want to put in a rule in this game that says absolutely no tolerance to headshots, then you got to make sure it's clear. And here we see a good hit here. And you know what, Darren? I wouldn't call this a penalty. I absolutely wouldn't. But according to the letter of the law, any type of hit to the head should be at the very minimum a minor, and that wasn't the case with the Rupert hit. And that is in any manner. Now you tell me how he's sitting on the bench getting attended to in his face if he didn't get hit there. That's just, for me, it's not black and white. The game has to be officiated by a guy that has a feel for it. Like I said before, I would never have called that in the NHL a 2-minute penalty, and I'm glad they didn't here, but according to the law, they should have.
We'll chat about Gerard Gallant and the St. John Sea Dogs winning another QMJHL title, but a reminder, the Toronto Blue Jays searching for a 3rd straight victory up against Nick Blackburn and the Minnesota Twins. Blackburn 0-4, so a good chance for Kyle Drabek to even his record at 3-3. That's coming up at 8 o'clock on Sportsnet 1. The London Knights and Niagara IceDogs scoreless after 1. In a potential clinching game for the London Knights on Friday Night Hockey. Mark Byzantine breathing easier with 7 saves out of 7 shots in that opening frame, but what really got the heart going, or stopping, was that close play at the offside. He waved it off. Right call by the linesman. Darren Millard along back with Nick Kypreos.
Not much argument out of London, so we got to give the official the benefit of the doubt that he was there, and he didn't hesitate on his call.
Definitive call as well. St. John Sea Dogs are the QMJHL champions for a 2nd straight year in their 3rd trip to the Championship Series. Gerard Gallant's club rolling through the playoffs, doubling their goals against with offense, trailed for not even an entire game, but as much as it looks like they were on the straight and narrow, there was some tense moments, like last Friday in overtime against Rimouski.
No, I was just disappointed. I mean, boys, it was a big game. His first game of the series, and this is going to be huge. It's either going to be a long series or, we're going to get a chance to do what we're supposed to do with our home games. And I just thought we were flat. I didn't like the way we were playing, and we were sort of sitting back and don't wait for them to make a mistake. Let us force them like we always do and put pressure on them. And, fortunately for us, we come back and, we scored the big goal in overtime. But, there was a tough game, and that's the way we coach. We give the guys some credit when they're playing really well, and when they're not, we try and let them know.
Overtime win in Game 1, and they end up sweeping Rimouski.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable that this organization, as young as it is, has a chance to do something pretty special and historic to come at and have another chance at a back-to-back Memorial Cup, especially not knowing what players were going to come back. And obviously the big one in my estimation and everyone's is Jonathan Huberdeau, who is the third pick overall from the Florida Panthers. Here's a guy that battled some injuries. He had the World Junior Championship, so he only ended up playing 37 games, Darren, 37. So he's feeling good, he's feeling fresh. And now with the week off, a complete week off, while they watch watch obviously Niagara and London unfold, watch the Western Hockey League unfold. Still, they have a chance to regroup here and really get energized for a chance of a lifetime here.
That conversation with Gerard on Hockey Central at noon, he raved about Charlie Coyle, who came over from the NCAA ranks in midseason.
Yeah, and another guy that they really had no idea was going to join their roster, not up until January, but he's come in and he's been probably their best player. And the one thing that you notice about him, as skilled as he is, he's physical. He wins puck battles in the corner, and he's got the skill to take it right to the net. And that's why he ended up being the MVP of the playoffs in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, because this guy is the complete package, as Gerard Gallant told us on Hockey Central at noon.
Nice job, Gerard Gallant.
Thank
and
you
the
very
St.
much.
John Sea Dogs sitting back now, waiting for the OHL and the Western Hockey League to decide their representatives for the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Niagara that close to a 1-0 lead here on Friday Night Hockey in Game 5. Of the CHL. Need to spice this one up. Only one power play, 7 shots apiece, but both teams seem to get things going late in the period. Should set the stage for a great second period in a potential clinching game for the London Knights, trying to lock down the OHL Championship. The WHL Series going at least 6. It's Edmonton, behind a great last-minute goal from Mark Pisak, has a 4-3 victory last night and a 3-2 series lead over the Portland Winterhawks in their second straight Western Hockey League final. The winner of that series advances to the MasterCard Memorial Cup and will face Shawinigan on May 18th to kick off the 4-team round-robin championship on Sportsnet. Second period coming up from the JLC. The London Knights trying to close it out against the Niagara IceDogs. Sam,
Friday Night Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. For everything you need to compete this season, there's MasterCard. And by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side.
CHL champions on ice, in life.
I chose to play the CHL because it was just a dream. When I played in Belleville, I had a great coach and a great organization, a great owner, and the travel and the going to school and the living away from home. It was probably the best choice I made in my hockey career, and it's a huge part of the reason why I'm playing in the NHL now.
CHL champions on ice, in life.
Welcome back to the John Labatt Center in London, Ontario. Game 5 of the OHL Championship with Ryan Strome of the Niagara IceDogs. And Ryan, you get your chances, you rattle one off the post, you're coming close.
Yeah, we are. We just got to keep working, and the series has been really tight each way. We got to capitalize and keep limiting their chances.
You're getting a little snake bit. You're still looking for your first goal of this series.
Yeah, I think a few guys are starting to get a little bit frustrated, but a game like this, you just got to keep shooting and do what you do best and get back to the basics, and they'll go in.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Ryan Strome with the Niagara IceDogs. And with more, here are the men who are going to call the second period, RJ Broadhead and Sam Cosentino.
Thanks, Rob. Here's the play of the first period, brought to you by OK Tire. Honestly driven, and maybe we'll call it the plays of the first period.
Yeah, and we'll start with the Jared Tenorti dump in. Austin Watson is offside, but this thing ends up going in the net. The fans went wild, but no. Waved off, offside, face off right here. And then Ritchie spots Mitchell Theoret in front, and he goes dead square off the post. So no score through 20 minutes. A little bit interesting with the offside, and even more interesting when Theoret hits the post and it comes straight out. I mean, that's the type of luck that's gone against Niagara all series long. You know, if that's London, it probably hits the back of the goaltender and goes in the net, and it's 1-0.
Nothing to be decided in that first period on Friday Night Hockey. Game 5 of the OHL Championship. Shots 7 apiece, 0-0 on the board. And there's one right on Byzantine. He was leaving his net, but he saw it, got back in time. Matt Rupert over to Ryan Rupert in front. Austin Watson takes a couple of whacks at it. Going the other way, the captain of the Ice Dogs, Andrew Agozzino, and it's offside. Pecan just couldn't stay onside.
Yeah, nice job by London right off the faceoff. Tenorti steps up from his defensive position, is able to get the dump in, and then again a poorly handled puck behind the net by the Niagara defenseman leads to a good chance for London in front. Austin Watson hacking and whacking, can't get it to go. Puck management has to be the key here for Niagara, and more communication between the two defensemen.
Ryan Strome talked about some of the Ice Dogs being frustrated. Watson might be getting frustrated. He's had about 4 chances in this game so far.
That frustration always a little less when you lead the series by a couple of games.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That'll be an icing against the Ice Dogs as they try to get things settled early in this second.
When you look at up and down this bench, and Austin Watson and Greg McKegg were 2 adds at the trade deadline, and Mark Hunter feeling that he needed to add some veteran experience to this hockey club and maybe take some of the pressure off his younger players. The 2 moves have worked to perfection.
Thomas Kuhn-Hackl chases this puck into the corner. He's one of those Ice Dogs. He hasn't scored in 8 games. He might be frustrated. Strome moves it back to Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton's been good. He has 4 points in the series. Walks around Ferry, threw it in front of the net. That hit a body, didn't get through to Hauser.
Another block shot for the Knights.
Hamilton right back in his position, but Nemesnikov shows some patience. The first rounder of Tampa Bay. Byzantine to Dougie Hamilton. Ahead to Freddy Hamilton. Freddy about a year and a half older than Dougie. Kuhn-Hackl can't get it deep. Strome can't get it past Harrington. Scott Harrington doesn't jump into the play often. There's one stopped by Byzantine. Harrington has it again. Greg McKegg, draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kuhn-Hackl staying with him. Alexiak uses that reach, can't get it out. Max Domi sends it right back in. That's over the head of Griffith in the corner. Strome to Alexiak, lead pass. Agozzino chips it in. He'll chase after it. Hauser waits for it to get into the area where he can play it. Jared Tenorti. How about Tenorti? Plus 39 during the regular season. He's plus 14 in these playoffs for a ridiculous plus 53 regular season and playoffs combined. Friesen's lead pass to Pecan. Pecan, he hasn't scored a goal in 5 games. Maybe here. Pecan shoots, and it's gloved down by Hauser.
There's Hauser coming to the fore once again, making all the saves he's supposed to and giving his team a chance to win every night, as Nick mentioned in the pregame show. Dougie Hamilton, little fake at the line, able to get around Ferry and then to the front of the net. But once again, it hits a body, doesn't even make its way to Hauser, and then Hauser, by playing that puck, gets himself out of position, but quickly gets back into position to make a stop on the Pecan shot.
Face-off win for Austin Watson. Mata from his knees, able to get that puck ahead, and Tierney moves it to Bo Horvat, and Alexiak again using that massive reach of his to stick handle around a few nights. Jesse Graham slowly ahead, calculating the best possible play. This one worked out. Brett Ritchie's shot, that's off a shin pad, comes in front, and Hauser kept an eye on it and didn't let the Ice Dogs get another opportunity.
Hauser's been supported most of this year by Olli Mata, and he had a rough go against Canada at the World Juniors. Here, playing for Finland in the first game, he takes a big bump on the left shoulder from Boone Jenner, and then In the dying seconds of game number 4 at the Gatorade Garden Center, he takes that shot from Brett Ritchie on that very same shoulder. He would get up the ice and leave painfully. Was questionable for tonight. Did the skate in the pregame and said, "Nope, I'm ready to go. I'm tough."
Dougie Hamilton, he floats one, missed the net though. Josh Anderson, one of those 17-year-olds for the Knights. His shot misses. Carter Verhaeghe ahead to Joel Weigel. Miles Doan chases after it. Doan, the only goal scorer for Niagara in game 4. 4-1 loss to the Knights. Now the Knights find themselves one win away from winning the OHL Championship and moving on to the MasterCard Memorial Cup.
Two teams really trying to be patient here, and it's a little easier for London to be patient. They lead in the series, but Niagara's going to have to keep that patient persistence up.
Freddy Hamilton will start things for Niagara. His pass picked up nicely by Strome. Gets the return feed. Freddy Hamilton circles in the corner. His shot stopped by Hauser. Tierney's bumped by Strome. Got it to Tenorti. He rifles it around, and Rover can't get there in time, but it will be an icing, and the crowd thought Rover maybe could have got that. They don't like this icing one bit.
That was a good deke on his part. We talked a little bit about Ole Mata on the last break, and look what this guy has done here in the playoffs. 23 points in his last 10 games, 14 points. He continues to lead the way for the London Knights. His game has just grown, his confidence has grown, and boy, the way he's played throughout the course of these playoffs, I really think he's put himself into a top 10 position for the upcoming National Hockey League draft.
He has brought that offensive element to the Knights blue line that they really didn't have much of during the regular season, but he has stepped it up when the games have mattered. Dougie Hamilton, he's been out there a lot in this second period. He's been good too, leading the rush here. He'll bump with Tenorti. There's a couple of big D-men in that corner.
And they'll see a lot of battles throughout their careers, one with Montreal, one with Boston.
Mercer takes a look behind him. Seth Griffith is the man right there. Griffith trying to take it away. Mercer battling hard to keep possession. Tried to go behind his net. Ferry cut off his progress. Out to center. There's Strome quickly ahead to Freddy Hamilton. These two seem to be clicking. Strome's shot. He went far side but missed by 4 feet. Ryan Rupert barreling in. Knocks the linesman over in the process.
Oh yeah, he doesn't care what's in his way. If he sees a puck, he's going for it.
Knights get back on side. That gives Ryan Rupert a chance to chase it down. Graham will have to hurry. Just gets out of the way of that hit. Alexiak, he's checked by Austin Watson. Byzantine tries to knock it away from Watson, but Watson tracks it down. Mata, he doesn't shoot. Agozzino got a stick on it and deflected it to the corner. This one will be right on goal, so Hauser has to play it. Pretty confident puck playing by the goaltenders. Lead pass. No, that hit a stick. That won't be icing either. Now it's Byzantine's turn. He'll just leave it for his defenseman Graham. Friesen, property of the Vancouver Canucks. He's another guy. He hasn't had a point in 3 games. So you go up and down this Ice Dogs roster, there's some guys that are due.
He and Agozzino, both true blue Niagara Ice Dogs 5 years ago when they moved from Mississauga. These two guys were part of the original group.
Good chance to see the skating ability of Max Domi, but Rover stayed with him the whole way. Bouncing puck, Tenorti keeps it in. Domi moves it behind the net. Dudera wraps it around. Scott Harrington throws it right back in deep. McCagg shoots. That's blocked by Rover. McCann slowly to center. He'll head to the bench after dumping that in. Harrington, little old school defense. You'll see him go off the glass quite often, out of harm's way.
He is just a brilliant, brilliant defender. I mean, I don't think anyone properly appreciated his game until the World Juniors.
Big hit in there by Brett Ritchie. That's his game. Power forward. That's a deflected puck. It just missed. Kept in by Mercer. Brett Ritchie, property of the Dallas Stars. Harrington's been out there a while. Ritchie trying to take advantage of that. There's a shot, and Hauser able to stop it. Tenorti got a stick up, and he will be going off on the high stick. So the Ice Dogs will get another opportunity with a power play, and that's going to be 4 minutes. Ice Dogs a chance to open the scoring next.
Closed captioning brought to you by Steel, making yard work quick and easy. Team up with your local Steel dealer this spring for the best power tools to get the job done.
Behind the Niagara bench with Marty Williamson. By the way, Stephen Shipley has got off to get a little stitch work. He should be back in action. A chance now with a 4-minute power play. An opportunity for you guys to do something you haven't been able to do a lot, and that's score in the last few games.
Pretty tough out there. It's pretty tight checking on both teams tonight, so you need to take advantage of these opportunities.
What was your, I guess, address to the team about this game and the need for the W?
Well, you got to get 4 wins, and they've only got 3. We got a full 60 minutes, and that's a lifetime in hockey. So, we need to play our best game tonight.
Coach, thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Niagara ready to go. 4-minute power play.
This is a perfect situation to me for Niagara to say, hey, let's treat this as a 2-minute power play. Let's try and get something done right away, and then we'll take our chances with the second 2 minutes. I think when you look at where you are in this series, 1-goal leads have not held up for Niagara very well. They had the first goal in each of the first 3 games. And now a situation to say, let's treat this as a deuce, work from there.
Ice Dogs 0 for their last 5 on the power play against the Knights. The crew here at John Labatt Center does a little cleaning up after the Trail Shipley left. He's a tough customer. He'll be back. Ice Dogs will go with Freddy Hamilton, Alex Friesen, Andrew Agozzino, Dougie Hamilton, and Ryan Strome out there. 4 forwards and a very offensive-minded defenseman. Dougie Hamilton, by far the leading scorer among defensemen during the regular season. Right away, a face-off win. Puck goes to the corner. Tommy Hughes comes up with it, and much like that last power play for the Ice Dogs, the Knights get it, and as soon as they do, they send it down.
And here's what I want to see from Niagara. They need to make an adjustment down low. The top of that umbrella is being taken away by London. Niagara needs to adjust to work that puck down low.
Freddy Hamilton gets it to Agozzino, moves it back to Dougie Hamilton. There's Friesen, no shot. Ryan Strome toward the net, now heads to the front of the net. Dougie Hamilton was pinching in. It'll be a foot race to this puck. And Watson able to get it out. Strome weaving his way through center. No room, so had to dump it in. Hauser leaves it for Mata. That one's hard off the glass. Friesen keeps it in. Dougie Hamilton some space, doesn't shoot. Watson went down for the block. Friesen doesn't shoot either. Hamilton to Strome. His pass came right back to him. Strome to Freddy Hamilton. Hamilton leads the Ice Dogs in points during this postseason. Ryan Strome 1 point behind him. Friesen winds, doesn't shoot. Strome does. Austin Watson gets to that puck, can't get it out. A lot of pressure here for the Ice Dogs with this power play. Friesen shot, that's up high. Strome's on it. Friesen can't keep it in. Knights can't get a change, though. It's the long change in the second period. That's a big play by Austin Watson. Knocks it out of midair. Short-handed chance. Missed the far side.
The Ice Dogs have given up 6 shorties in the playoffs so far this year.
Important for the Knights there to get a change. Thomas Kuhnhackl. He's property of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Gets it to Jesse Graham. The crowd cheering on the penalty killers. Alexiak with a bullet. Hauser caught it.
A couple of good chances, but some misses by Niagara. But a good penalty kill starts with leadership up front. And here it's Austin Watson doing the yeoman's work. There he is, number 51 in green. As this puck goes back out to the point, he's trying to win a foot race. He gets the stick on the puck. He's able to clear the zone. And then a little later in the neutral zone, he knocks this puck out of midair. And now gets a good opportunity shorthanded. This place would have went nuts had he been able to do something there.
The Knights have killed off the first penalty to the double minor that Jared Tenorti took for high sticking. Minute 45 to go in the power play for the Ice Dogs, and nothing working for them as they go offside.
Yeah, and so much of this for Niagara has to do with some of their big guns that really need to get going. And you look at this group of players, you got overagers, you got draft picks, first rounders, everything mixed in there. Had 144 goals in the regular season, have accounted for just 1 here in this series, and still plenty of time with 1:45 left in the second portion of this power play.
Niagara will take a timeout here. Marty Williamson fully aware of the importance of this double minor. Now that they're into the last portion of it, they need to get something out of it.
And I think when we look at some of the adjustments, we saw Dougie Hamilton trying the down low. We saw Hamilton shoot from both wings, moving that puck down low, because in the first power play, they tried to work it up top. Nothing was doing there. They had to make an adjustment. Maybe Marty Williamson is now readjusting here to try and get something done in the second portion of the power play.
The timeout called by Williamson. An opportunity to rest his #1 unit as well.
You know, the thing that Marty Williamson realizes is that, hey, first of all, we need to score here. But if we don't, he knows how important that momentum shift can be the other way if they don't score. And so he uses that very valuable timeout here early in period 2.
That one's rifled in. Hauser gets a stick on it. Mata moves it over to the far corner, but there's Strome waiting for it. Behind the net to Freddy Hamilton. Right back to Strome. Friesen. Now Dougie Hamilton has some space. Friesen shoots. That's blocked by Watson. The puck's loose. Another crack at it. Dougie Hamilton was there, and Hauser stopped it.
Another block shot by Austin Watson, but good persistence on the part of Niagara to continue moving forward and get that puck down towards the goal. Plenty of action in front of the net. On the one-timer, blocked by Watson. A good second attempt by Hamilton, and you can see his jersey being held as he goes to the net for the second one. Right there. But that puck looks free, and Agozzino goes to take a whack at it. Hauser finally able to see it to cover it up, and the fans wanted a call there.
Ice Dogs with firepower out there. Agozzino, 40 goals in the regular season. Hamilton and Strome, they had over 30. Friesen, he had 26. Now we're down to the final minute 10. Can they come through? Dougie Hamilton, the leading point getter among defensemen. They cannot figure out this London Knights penalty kill. Friesen drops it off to Strome. Return feed to Friesen. No shot. Freddy Hamilton throws it in front. Hughes got the stick down, blocked it, and Austin Watson gets a crack at it. It goes to Ferry, and he just bats that down the ice.
Whatever it takes.
What a job on the penalty kill. Final 35 seconds of this power play. Freddy Hamilton will dump it in. Hauser out of his net. It took a bad bounce. Nemesnikov's back. Sends it down the ice.
Turned out to be a good bounce after all.
20 seconds. Jesse Graham wastes no time behind his own goal. He'll take it right into the Knights' end. Jesse Graham staying on it. Brent Cook trying to take it away. Kuhnhackl back to Alexiak. Graham. No shot. How about Alexiak? Final few seconds. Kuhnhackl lets one fly. That's off the blocker of Hauser. Back on the ice is Jared Tenorti. Knights send it down the ice. They'll take that whistle. Crowd at the John Labatt Center on its feet, saluting the Knights and their penalty kill, keeping it 0-0 on Friday Night Hockey.
When you walk by the magazine rack, make sure you pick up Sportsnet magazine. The latest issue of the magazine has Henrik Lundqvist on the cover. Available now for just $2.99. And a big day, the UEFA Champions League final is set to come your way. Bayern Munich against Chelsea, May 19th at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. That on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific.
Well, looking forward to those. Right now, we're in the midst of Game 5 of the OHL Championship. The London Knights lead the series 3-1. We are 0-0 midway through the game. Hauser another save. Kevin Rain. He had Verhaeghe hanging on him. Rain can't get it past Doan, and Verhaeghe had it in the corner. Doan hustles after it. Shots are 8-2 this period for the Ice Dogs. They couldn't score on a double minor to Jared Tenorti. That has been the story of this series for a strong offensive club, unable to score against this London Knights crew.
Don't you get the feeling, RJ, that it's going to take a funny hop or some sort of weird goal to kind of get Niagara back on par again?
They need a little something to go their way. Hit a post in the first period. Just couldn't really get a lot through to Hauser during that double minor.
And speaking of Hauser, he's been really good at making that first save, but his defensemen have been equally as good taking that second chance away. There's the first save, and look at range. First guy on the puck, good body positioning, steps in front of Verhaeghe, takes him off the puck, and then able to keep that second chance opportunity away from Michael Hauser.
Off the face-off, Watson got a shot away. Tenorti, he's fresh. He's out there now after that penalty. Agozzino has McKay close on him, can't get it out. Now he can. McCann leaves it for Agozzino. Agozzino still with it. That shot doesn't get through. Sits in the high slot. There comes Ryan Rupert to take it away. Dumps it in. Dougie Hamilton circles away from McKay. Chips it ahead along the boards. Watson went firing in there. Somebody had a broken stick. Rupert wound up with Friesen's stick behind the play and threw it into the Niagara zone. Scott Harrington leads the rush. Sharp angle. It's loose. He scores. Austin Watson. He walked in and the puck was sitting there, and Watson puts the Knights up 1-0.
Just the way this series has gone, the Niagara IceDogs get 4 minutes on a Jared Tenorti double liner, can't score, and then Harrington from basically the goal line has it funky bounce go off the pad of Byzantine. And you can see it clear as day on the replay that that puck is just sitting there. Austin Watson driving the net hard there afterward and is able to tap it home for the game's first goal. Byzantine lost track of it, lost sight of it. And Austin Watson picks up his 10th of the postseason, 1-0 London.
10 goals, leads the Knights in playoff scoring, and if anyone deserved it, it was Austin Watson. He had so many chances early in this game, and the Ann Arbor, Michigan native gets the Knights out to that 1-0 lead.
Now here's another angle. That Harrington shot simply kind of gets caught between the blocker and the pad, and it drops down. The puck was stopped, but it was stopped when it's still visible to everybody, and that's why Waston, charging the net hard, picks up the trash to make it 1-0.
Tom Kuhnhackl gets to center, sends it in. Olli Mata. He has backup from his defense partner, Tommy Hughes. Namestnikov. 5-game point streak for Namestnikov. Olli Mata, he's got some space. He went far side and missed the net.
That's another area where Matt has improved his ability to jump up on the rush and make the good decision as to when to do so.
Tommy Hughes ahead to Namestnikov. It's poked off his stick. Hughes back there. Pretty good play off the boards to get that puck to center. Plenty of time for the Finnish rookie to move that puck ahead. Rover's pass, that's right into the skates of Doan. Brett Ritchie. This will be a test for Mata. Ritchie so strong along the boards. Trying to come out of the corner. Shielding the puck. Ritchie still with it. Knights can't take it from Ritchie. That shot, it's blocked by Hauser. Rebound was there for Theoret. He knocks Tierney down. Crowd didn't like it. Theoret picks up the loose puck. Now Theoret's tripped up. No call on that either. Hughes, that one is out by about an inch. Josh Anderson gets by Rover, got it into the Niagara zone. Anderson on this puck. He'll bump with Dougie Hamilton. Loose puck picked up by Brett Ritchie. He has to be tired after that hard work inside the Knights zone. He'll stay out there and chase after this puck. Now he branches off to the bench. Bo Horvat. Little tip ahead to Austin Watson. Alex Friesen, overage player. Head to the other overager out there, Agozzino. They played together a long time. In fact, all three overagers are out there. And the Knights will be getting another penalty.
Austin Watson will go this time.
Agozzino just getting up now. Austin Watson heading to the penalty box. He'll have his name on the score sheet again, but this is the one that has him cheering. Well, there's Andrew Agozzino as he's getting looked at after taking a Big hit along the boards from Austin Watson. Watson got a penalty for it. Boarding was the call, Sam.
And you'll see Agozzino, he's bracing for the hit and still in that dangerous area. He knows he wants to get that puck deep, so he shields the puck with his body and sends it down into the corner. Watson just continuing on with his check. When he initiated the check, it was Agozzino facing forward, and then he spun to get that puck deep.
IceDogs 0 for 3 on the power play. Kuhnhackl, no shot. Graham doesn't shoot. Kuhnhackl does. That's blocked as the crowd boos the announcement of the penalty to Austin Watson. Shipley, he's back after being stitched up. Kuhnhackl, he can't get a shot. Graham's watched closely. He fired one wide. Pecan takes his time. Skates it to the line. Greg McKegg right with him every stride. Now back to the corner. That one goes right through the slot. Kuhnhackl circles back to the blue line. Takes the return feed from Graham. That's a high shot. It's knocked down. And the Nemesnikov comes up with it. He's knocked down, and that's a penalty to the IceDogs coming up. Hauser will head to the bench. The extra attacker coming on. IceDogs touch it, and it'll be 4-on-4 for a minute 6.
McCann knew it the second he did it. He snapped his head back knowing that, hey, the last 3 penalties have gone the way of the London Knights. We're due to get one, and that contact with the stick in the legs here on Nemesnikov trips him up. No doubt about it. McCann saying, hey, I was going for the puck, but he knows very well that that thing was going to be called, and a good call by the officials there to send McCann off for tripping.
He had to get back into the play there. He had quit, knowing he was getting the penalty, assuming one of his teammates was going to touch the puck.
You get that kind of sense of finality on the play because the crowd was so loud.
4-on-4. Who has the edge? Knights win the faceoff. Andreas Athanasiou. He's got great speed. Trying to work in the corner against Dougie Hamilton. Mercer moves it to Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton will work well with the extra space out there. Ahead to Ryan Strome. Strome's over the line. Freddie Hamilton's down low. Dougie Hamilton goes to the front of the net. Freddie Hamilton in the corner. Leaves it for Mercer. Over to Dougie Hamilton. Sees his brother Freddie. Right back to Dougie. No shot for Dougie Hamilton. Keeps that in. Freddy Hamilton, he can't get a shot away. A lot of possession for the IceDogs, but no opportunities. Ryan Strome now. 2 Knights converge on him. And it'll be Ole Mata stick handling in a phone book, trying to find some time to make a play, and he gets it over to Tommy Hughes. The Knights are going on a power play for the next 54 seconds as Watson steps on the ice. He'll stay on the ice for this power play for the Knights. It's a short one. Down to 40 seconds to go with a man advantage. The Knights first of the hockey game. They already lead it 1-0. Greg McKegg ahead to Austin Watson. Watson's the goal scorer. Shipley gets it and sends it down the ice.
Good simple play there by Shipley. Don't get too cute with it. You get it inside your line, get it down the ice.
Scott Harrington. He set up that Watson goal. Gives it to Nemesnikov. Nemesnikov smoothly through center. The Russian import gets it to the corner. Final 15 seconds of the power play. Greg McKegg searching for a loose puck. McKegg bumps with Rover in the corner. Nemesnikov, he's eliminated by Alexiak. McKegg to Harrington. Nemesnikov. Puck was rolling on him. He couldn't get a shot. That one is slapped out by Agozzino, and Pecan had come out of the penalty box, and that one was close to working into a pretty good opportunity for the IceDogs. Back to 5-on-5. Just over 2 minutes to go in this second period. Bouncing puck. Pecan tried to throw it in the feet of Hauser. Ole Mata glides out to center, and another penalty coming up to Niagara. Mata got worked over, and he's looking for a little bit of blood, and it might be Pecan again heading off.
And you know, this is a sense of frustration starting to set in for Niagara. We saw a little bit of it in Game 4. And here's a situation where Pecan's going for the stick lift, and it's a swing and a miss altogether. He gets nothing but Mata's chicklets.
No blood, so it'll be a 2-minute power play for the London Knights.
He must have thick skin. That thing came up there in a hurry. and off the sharp edge of the blade.
Minute 52 to go in this second period. Crowd senses a little something. A late goal here would give the Knights a ton of momentum going into the third period. Brett Ritchie, short-handed chance here. Ritchie trying to go wide. Mata doesn't let him pass. Ole Mata setting it up behind his own goal. Seth Griffith sends it in. Dougie Hamilton takes a look. Watson takes it from him. McKegg in the corner. Mata's open. Right back to McKegg. McKegg has it knocked off his stick. Couple of cracks by Watson. Another chance. And Byzantine stops 3 opportunities from Austin Watson.
Boy, he has been dangerous all game long. Does have the game's only goal, does Austin Watson, but he could have had 2 or 3 already. I would say that's about his 8th shot on goal in this game. And he gets a trio of them right here. There's 2. And then the third one in the backhand. Byzantine does well to follow it across the crease. Doesn't overslide. Patient. Big in the net. Square to the puck. And a good stop there by Mark Byzantine.
Minute 24 to go on the power play. Minute 16 to go in the period. Knights would love to see this penalty over before the period's done. That would mean they've got a 2-goal lead. Mata's pass. That's outside the line, so Ryan Rupert will give it right back to Mata. Final minute of the second. Mata slow, calculating, and that pass is off the stick of Watson into his own bench.
A little frustration on the part of Mata, and Watson on his way off the ice here, and he has been all over the place. And when you combine the playoffs and the regular season, the Knights 51-6-1, when scoring the first goal of the game, and 11-1 in these playoffs coming into tonight.
Final 55 seconds of the second period. Friesen wins a face-off. He'll just send that in deep. Ole Mata came in leading his team in playoff scoring. Not bad for a 17-year-old rookie. Max Domi, speaking of 17-year-old rookies, he just turned 17 in March. Couldn't get much done there.
I heard you talk about it today on Hockey Central, also dealing with the diabetes issue. And I think what Domi's done here in his rookie season, pretty amazing.
Third in rookie scoring in the OHL during the regular season. He's riding a 4-game point streak here in the playoffs. Mata can't shoot. Crowd wants a shot. Here it is. Stopped by Byzantine. The rebound from Domi, and that hit something and didn't get to the goal. Mata back to Harrington. Mata doesn't shoot. Crowd wanted a shot. They know there's only a few seconds. And Harrington from a sharp angle. One last crack at it. And Byzantine stopped it. There'll be a measly 8 seconds of power play time that will carry over. But the Knights, that would have been a big goal if they could have got one late.
Byzantine able to make the first stop here, and then it's kicked back out, and it's blocked by the defenseman Rover in front on the second chance opportunity by Domi to keep this thing 1-0 Knights.
Well, that power play of the Niagara IceDogs letting them down. They need to find a way to score. 1 period to go to keep their season alive. Here's Darren.
RJ, thank you. Back with Nick Kypreos. Hunters must feel cursed this week when it comes to double minors and killing off these 4-minute penalties. Game 5, obviously, it cost the Washington Capitals and Dale. And Game 6, they answered the bell. And tonight, with Mark, maybe tore a page out of Dale's handbook.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to feel for Niagara a little bit. I thought they were coming on a little bit, obviously, to start this game. They didn't want to open it up in any way. But all of a sudden, Strome got on the forecheck, Hamilton got on the forecheck, and it seemed to be going their way. But all of a sudden, you know what? You can't score in the power play, and then it turns a little bit. And this obviously is a situation where Williamson needed to call a timeout just to get things going. But this has been their bread and butter all season long, Darren. 27% during the regular season. The power plays ran well, and Dougie Hamilton's come down on occasion, try to cause some havoc, but Hauser's there.
What's London doing to frustrate them?
You know what, Darren? They play their lines really well. And sometimes you got to, if it's a blocked lane, you got to shoot a little off the walls, maybe get a ricochet off the boards, but they can't get anything straight at Hauser, and it's a little frustrating. And Watson's done a heck of a job on the penalty kill.
Can you have a crazier period than Austin Watson? Shorthanded.
Yeah,
the break.
No,
and
but
the goal.
he does everything for them. The penalty kill, the power play. We saw him with the best opportunity on the power play late in the period. But this guy at 6'3" skates exceptionally well. The hand-eye coordination as he picked that puck out of the air, and then the hockey IQ to just go to the net. Worse angle, you think nothing's going to come of it, and yet when you go to the net, your stick's on the ice, good things happen. Harrington does a nice job getting the puck towards the goal, and then there so far is the all-important first goal in this hockey game. But hey, what a period, what a game for Watson.
You need to be Sherlock Holmes right now to figure out what's going on with that London penalty kill and trying to solve that. And for the London Knights, it's elementary. 20 minutes from a title on Friday Night Hockey on Sportsnet.
This intermission brought to you by BMO, the official bank of the CHL. Commentators' clothing provided in part by Z Zenia.
Western Hockey League Championship Series going 6 games on Saturday night. That's if Edmonton wins. A Portland comeback will require a decider on Sunday. Quick turnaround there as they fly back and forth. Flying on the same plane, by the way. Western Hockey League chartering that. Darren Millard along with the Kypreos.
You find that weird?
I do find it, especially if it goes 7 games and all the animosity that's been built up. But the last 2 have featured Edmonton comebacks, one in overtime, and then Mark Piszczek last night in the first final minute of the game.
Yeah, Edmonton does a good job defending, but you really don't have to with the last minute of the game goal and an overtime goal that has given them now the upper hand. And you got to feel for Mike Johnson's group here. They went to the finals last year, and everybody thought, okay, you know what? They come right back at it. Maybe this is their chance. But right now, they got a lot of work to go here, Darren. To win 2 games against a team that's pumping on all cylinders now is a tough task for Sven Barchi and the gang.
A lot of similarities. Edmonton to London, a young team that's maybe ahead of the curve, and Portland to Niagara. Star players that you wouldn't be surprised if they actually came back and pushed it to the distance.
Well, and again, you leaned on your best players, and Ty Ratty's a guy that has some bump and bruises along the way, and we do know that he suffered what we believe is a concussion early in the series. This is a guy that is going to be leaned on heavily in this next 2 games. The third leading scorer here has to put the puck in the net.
And don't forget about Sven Barchi, the Calgary Flame draft pick. Portland will try to stave off elimination tomorrow night, and if they do so, Game 7 on Sunday. Austin Watson doing his thing in the trainer's room, knowing 20 minutes from a championship here on Friday Night Hockey. Second period scoring summary brought to you by Old Dutch, the official chip of the CHL. We skip right to the second because nothing to report from the opening 20 minutes. And what was a lopsided period from a shots on goal perspective ended up fairly even. Only one player managing to raise his arms in celebration, Austin Watson, with his 10th of the postseason. And that has London on top. Niagara's power play has been unable to find any momentum. The winner of this series in the OHL, the J. Ross Robertson Cup, goes on to the 2012 MasterCard Memorial Cup Tournament. Shawinigan bounced in the second round of the Q playoffs. They were neck and neck with St. John all year long. St. John 16-1 in the QMJHL postseason. They swept Rimouski in the championship series, but that was close. A couple of 3-2 games in the opening 2. There you see London with a stranglehold in the OHL, and Edmonton can close out Portland and Mike Johnson with a victory tomorrow night in Oregon. The MasterCard Memorial Cup, when the field is set, will kick off 1 week from tonight. Shawinigan Cataracts on the ice against the champions of the WHL. Blue Jays right now in a rain delay in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Niagara feeling like they're in the middle of a drought against the London Knights. Third period's coming up.
Friday Night Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. For everything you need to compete this season, there's MasterCard. By Cal Tire. Brands you can't find anywhere else. Cal Tire. True service. And by your local insurance broker. Your best insurance is an insurance broker. This intermission brought to you by BMO, the official bank of the CHL.
Crowd is getting pumped up at the John Labatt Center in London with the Knights leading 1-0 with 20 minutes remaining. The one goal belongs to this man, Austin Watson, and I guess that's basic hockey. Go to the net, follow up.
Yeah, you know, we've been saying that all playoffs. You see how playoff goals are scored in the NHL. Just guys going to the net hard and getting good bounces. And I was fortunate enough to have the puck, be right there, and didn't want to take a chance. Wanted to bury it.
You guys were able to get that big penalty kill too.
Yeah, it's huge. Our PK has been great for us all playoffs. You see guys like Kager and Vladdy out there, killing penalties, blocking shots. It goes a long way.
I also want to tell you, we got a tweet from your dad. It says, "Good boy, score well. Mama is watching."
That's funny. I know they're at home watching, and mom's in the crowd as well as some other families. So it's an exciting time, but 20 more minutes here to go to get a win.
Thanks very much, Austin.
All right, thank you.
And he knows there's 20 minutes left. They're nursing a 1-goal lead. Boys, I'll check Twitter to see if there's anything from your friends or family. RJ Broadhead and Sam Cosentino.
Yeah, Rob Faulds, maybe Twitter's newest signee. He's on there now. Play of the second period brought to you by Kodiak Boots, designed, engineered, and built for over 100 years.
Well, Scott Harrington making the safe, sure play. Just goes down to the corner, says, "I'll put it on net." And it takes an awkward bounce off Byzantine that laid on the doorstep for Austin Watson to bang it home. And reading his dad's Twitter account, Austin Clan Dad, he comes from a family of 9 siblings. Wow. And they've moved all over to follow his hockey career between Michigan and Florida. And boy, wouldn't this be an opportunity for getting back to his second MasterCard Memorial Cup. Went there and won it with Windsor in 2009.
There were only a few seconds to go in the high-sticking penalty to David Picani. He's back on the ice, so IceDogs back at full strength, and we are underway here in the third period. The OHL Championship, 20 minutes away for the London Knights. They have a 1-0 lead. The crowd at the John Labatt Center chanting, "Go Knights, go!" IceDogs have had a world of trouble scoring goals. 0 for 4 on the power play in this game. Haven't been able to get anything past Michael Hauser. Pecan, he's an overage player. You'd expect Niagara's overagers, Friesen, Pecan, Agozzino, to step things up. They don't want this to be their last period in the OHL. Here's Agozzino now, the captain. Can't get much done, bouncing pocket center. Ryan Strome brings it in over the line. Freddy Hamilton with him. Hamilton goes to the front of the net. Graham's shot, that just misses. Tyler Ferry can't get it out. Graham, he can walk right in here. Graham's low shot. Kuhnhackl, he couldn't control it, and Seth Griffith moves it ahead. Tyler Ferry has Oli Mata jumped into the play with him. Ferry's shot, that's redirected to the corner by Byzantine. Graham's being told to wheel, and he does.
He's got the good boots. No question he can do it.
Graham threw it in front. Nobody there but the green jerseys of the London Knights. Here's Vladislav Nemesnikov. A chance at Mercer falling. Nemesnikov over to Griffith. He scores! The London Knights. A huge goal from Griffith. Taking advantage of a fall by the IceDogs, and it's 2-0 early in the third.
Unfortunate situation for Mercer as he's backpedaling. He's got Nemesnikov, and Nemesnikov has unbelievable speed. He can go from first to third gear in no time at all. As soon as he sees Mercer blow that tire, he gets into third gear. He knows he's got Griffith waiting in the far wing, and it is on and off the tape just like that. Once again, the London Knights capitalize on the opportunity given them when Luke Mercer wiped out.
Shots are 18 apiece, but the score is 2-0 for the Knights. Now it's a tough break. Wow. It is an uphill climb for the IceDogs now. The whole bench standing for Niagara, trying to get some life, get some momentum. This one, maybe a chance here for Max Domi walking in, but the whistle's gone. He was just offside.
And this building really starting to feel it now. It doesn't have that 2005 MasterCard Memorial Cup feel, but there are elements of it creeping in to the John Labatt Center with 17:51, a 2-0 lead for the home side, and a trip to the MasterCard Memorial Cup on the line as Marty Williamson and his Niagara IceDogs have a big hole, as you mentioned, to climb out of down here to zip.
Still 17:51 to go in the third period. Dudera off a face-off win for the IceDogs. Behind the net, Theoret can't come up with it. Athanasiou, he'll have to deal with Dudera. Athanasiou's there first. Dudera doing all he can to keep the puck in. Ritchie along the boards, he's bumped. Ritchie in the corner with it. Shipley's shot, another missed net.
That's happened a lot here tonight, and I don't know if it's a result of squeezing the stick, getting nervous. I mean, you have to applaud the effort to get pucks to the net, but you also have to hit the net when doing so.
Ritchie pinned up against the boards by Hughes. A stalemate there. Mata digging away, hovering around his Theoret. Ritchie so strong, and Hughes right there, killing off a few precious seconds.
Ritchie with a little pushback, and you have to be careful if you're Niagara here. You can ill afford to take an undisciplined penalty. I mean, that thing's pinched up against the boards. It had been that way for 10 seconds. No need for any extracurricular thereafter. Big Brett Ritchie, acquired from Sarnia for a couple of second-round picks and a fifth-round pick at the trade deadline. Former first-round pick of the Sting, 12th overall in the 09 OHL priority selection.
He's been strong along the boards and in the corners tonight. IceDogs didn't lose 3 straight in regulation all season. They've lost 3 straight to London. Could it be 4 straight? Dougie Hamilton, he can't get that shot through. So many bodies there. Chris Tierney moves it along the boards. Sanderson chops at it, can't get it past Shane Rover. Rover over to Dougie Hamilton. Rolling puck, he decides just to keep it deep. Let Domi battle
use a lot. Sorry, RJ. A play they use a lot in Niagara is where they'll use those end boards if they don't have a lane to the net.
That one got to the net, but nobody was there for Niagara. Sent down the ice, and we could see a little bit of this for the Knights. If they're not happy with the situation, they'll just ice it with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, because they've been so good in the face-off circle, it really gives you that luxury to do that. You've got Watson, you've got McKegg. Tierney's been good in the face-off circle, so there are a lot of different options in the defensive zone that if they throw it down the ice for an icing call, they're confident they can win the draw.
McKegg against Friesen on the face-off. There's a win for Greg McKegg, the elite prospect. Gets it to Harrington, picked off along the boards by Agozzino. Dougie Hamilton. Rolling puck, settles it down. Shot from Alexiak. Agozzino. That one's blocked by Harrington. Defense pairing we don't see often with Alexiak and Hamilton out there together. Marty Williamson trying to find a way to get some offense. Matt Rupert sends it back to Harrington. He'll loft one off Alexiak. He shakes his hand after that. Alexiak has the puck in the corner. He'll start the rush. That's right on the tape of Friesen. A good pass. Friesen, he shoots. Another block shot for the Knights. This time Jared Tenorti got in front of it. McCann keeps it deep. Hauser will play this puck. And he rifles that along the glass, and a good clear by Hauser. Shane Rover takes his time. Drops it off for Ryan Strome. Hauser again out to play it. Drops it off to Olli Mata. That one worked out okay. Looked like it had the potential for disaster. Nemesnikov flies into that Niagara zone again. Makes a spin move in front of the net. The puck was loose. Niagara's there. Here they come the other way. Ryan Strome has Freddy Hamilton heading to the front of the net. That pass knocked down, and Graham might be caught. He knocks down Nemesnikov. Seth Griffith. Mata going to the front of the net. Mata's hooked up, and that will send the Knights to another power play.
Ole Mata has been really assertive in jumping into the rush on several occasions in this game. The last time he did it, I thought he was going to draw a penalty. That didn't happen, but this time down the ice when Mata jumps in, he does indeed draw the hooking call on Thomas Kuhnhackl, and this young player just continues to grow by leaps and bounds, and you can see as Kuhnhackl on the backtrack, with Mata a step ahead of him, he's forced to be dragged down here. And what would have been another London scoring chance now turns into a London power play.
Knights 0 for 2, 6 shots so far in the game as the 9,046 here at the John Labatt Center are on their feet, clapping, trying to get a power play goal out of their team. That might be enough if they could get one more. 2-goal lead is comfortable, but not comfortable enough for the Knights.
You have to remember, Niagara had 20 short-handed goals in the regular season. That led the Ontario Hockey League, so still dangerous.
Well, here's a one-on-one. Agozzino, his shot off the stick of Mata, doesn't get to the net, but he's on it again. Agozzino sends it right back into his own zone.
And the reverse icing.
Why not? Get rid of this power play. Alexiak sends one all the way down. Bouncing puck, and Hauser knew Freddy Hamilton was right there, so he decided, let's get a face-off instead of taking any chances with Freddy.
A couple of World Junior teammates, Scott Harrington defending Hauser in front, Freddy Hamilton looking for a little trash in front of the net, but nothing there. And this is just fine by the Knights as the puck continues to wear down.
Vladislav Namestnikov had that great play over to Seth Griffith earlier in the third. That gave the Knights the 2-0 lead. Austin Watson opened the scoring for London. He just trickled that into the Niagara zone. Ole Mata gets to center, dumps it in. Vizantino to play it. Vizantino, he'll clear it himself. So good with the puck. And now Hauser just leaves it behind his net for Ole Mata. 45 seconds to go in the power play for the Knights. Not a lot of urgency. Griffith gets to the line, can't stick handle his way past Rovers, so the Knights will have to try it again. Watson in traffic. How about Namestnikov? Little help from Griffith, gets it deep. Mata, sharp angle. Griffith just fanned on it. Harrington to Mata. Saucers it in front, the puck's loose, and the IceDogs send it down with 15 seconds to go in the power play.
Ole Mata in there again was stretching, reaching, hoping he could corral that puck and still leave himself some real estate, just couldn't do it.
That offensive side of his game, Sam, we saw the Knights a lot during the regular season. It is something that he has stepped up in this postseason. He's been going to the net, jumping into rushes a lot more than he was in the regular season.
And that comes with confidence, because of confidence.
The penalty over, so IceDogs back to full strength. Matt Rupert gets to center, doesn't get it deep. Tierney, bouncing puck. Chris Tierney, stick handling in the slot. He'll just throw it to the corner, let Matt Rupert go after it. Dudera bumps with Matt Rupert. Another hit from Dudera, and Rupert just keeps going. Tom Kuhnhackl, the German forward, drops it off for Strome. Jumping into the play, shot from Weigel. The puck is there, and it's in the net. Kuhnhackl picked up a loose puck, and this one is far from done. The IceDogs close the gap to 2-1.
And maybe that's exactly what the IceDogs needed to kind of get back on a roll again. They gain a little confidence to start feeling it, and it starts on a very innocent rush. Everyone seems to be covered 4 jerseys back, but the drop back pass ends up with a shot in front of the net, and the block shot here forces that rebound to come out in front. Alexiak's there, it squeaks free, and Thomas Kuhnhackl is on the doorstep to knock it in. And this building has all of a sudden become deathly silent.
2-0 lead. Seemed okay to the fans. All of a sudden, this 1-goal lead isn't so much fun. Alexiak jumping up into the play. We expected to see that as the IceDogs were finding a way to create some offense, and that one worked. Jared Tenorti moves it ahead to Athanasiou. Stand on his first crack to get it deep. IceDogs will try it again. Dougie Hamilton. He looks good dancing through center, but winds up offside. Couple of goals in this third period. Griffith made it 2-0, but all of a sudden, it's game on with Kuhnhackle's goal. This is our game review brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform.
Elementary, my dear Watson, is 10th of the playoffs. Ice Dogs power play 0 for 4 tonight, 3 for 19 in the series, and Seth Griffith also with his 10th, so that balanced scoring coming to the fore for the London Knights as they continue to lead here, 2-1, with 11:38 left in the third period.
The Ice Dogs had 1 goal in game 4. Miles Doan got it. It had to be reviewed. It wasn't a pretty goal. He was going to the net. It went off him and in, off his shin pad. This one here, loose puck in the slot. Not a pretty goal by Kuhnhackle, but they need a little something. And it is a 1-goal lead for the Knights as a little something was brewing there, but another offside for London.
Kuhnhackle's first in 9 games, and he was a big mid-season acquisition. Came over to the Niagara IceDogs, and in his first game bumps Ryan Murphy behind the net, suspended 20 games, and missed a big portion of time obviously because of that. Comes back in March with a few games left in the season. Started to play pretty well and then went through this lengthy drought, ending in here tonight.
Ole Mata trying to get to it before Brett Ritchie. Mata, he's crushed along the boards by Ritchie. Ritchie actually looked at both referees. Athanasiou. He eluded a check, and McKegg shrugs his shoulders at the offside call.
Mata takes the cross check in the back, and young Andreas Athanasiou, who we have talked about all season long, in and out of the lineup here in these playoffs. He drew in for Bo Horvat in game 4, but because Jared Knight is out of the lineup, both Horvat and Athanasiou draw in. And I like the way Mark Hunter's used him. He's used him in a 4-on-4 situation. He used that good speed. He's backtracked a couple of times in this game, and I think starting to realize that, hey, life isn't always roses. Sometimes the healthy scratch can help a guy out, and I think it's helped him out.
Dougie Hamilton, first-round pick of the Bruins. Leaves it in the corner. Here's brother Freddy. Lead pass to Ryan Strome. He'll send it into the Knights' end. Hauser plays it high along the glass. Strome's over there to knock it down. Dougie Hamilton, he's way behind the net now. The defense of the Ice Dogs are active.
And I think Marty Williamson said, hey, just do what you have to do. I mean, you go out there, and if you have to be risk-taking in your venture, then by all means, go ahead and do that. And you'll see Kuhnhackle, Strome is there, Dougie Hamilton goes in, Strome covers him up by moving back towards that defensive position. They keep the puck in and get an offensive zone faceoff.
Still over half a period to go here in the third. It's a 1-goal game. Niagara needs to win to force a game 6 in the series. A London win gives them the J. Ross Robertson Trophy, an OHL Championship. Matt Rupert ahead to Austin Watson. Watson dumps it in. Referee had the whistle to his mouth. Thought it might have hit something on the Niagara bench. The play keeps going. The captain of the Ice Dogs, Andrew Agozzino. Lofts one in, chases after it himself. Matt is clearing, didn't have much on it. Tries the other side. Tommy Hughes gets this one out. It won't be icing. Luke Mercer wastes no time. Knew the Knights were on a change. Hauser again. He's getting a workout coming out of his net. Seth Griffith. Lead pass. That's a good one to Domestikov. He can't get far. Mercer is right there. Doan takes it to center. Can't get it past the 6'7" Jared Tenorti. And Domestikov will be the first man after this puck. Byzantine. Again, a confident play. Dougie Hamilton pokes it past Griffith along the boards. Carter Verhaeghe, the lone 16-year-old in the Ice Dogs lineup. He's out there late in the third. Jamie Alexiak, he had an assist on the Thomas Kuhnhackle goal.
This is you get that feeling that London's just kind of play that hang-on game, and we've seen that with the Washington Capitals on occasion, where they get the lead and then just try and hang on. It's worked pretty well to send the series into 7 games here against the New York Rangers, but maybe Niagara can draw a little something from this.
Lead pass by Harrington. Max Domi was up there. Alexiak has it, can't get it out, kept in by Athanasiou. Athanasiou has McKegg going to the net. McKegg couldn't get a shot away, threw it back in front. Olimata, that just came out, and you know there's 9,046 linesmen here that'll disagree. There it is, the J. Ross Robertson Trophy. Will it be handed out tonight? The insurance goal of the game brought to you by your local insurance broker. To score your insurance goal, your best insurance is an insurance broker.
Well, we look to London's second goal of the game. Vladislav Nemesnikov takes advantage of Luke Mercer falling, stops, waits, gets it over to Seth Griffith, who makes no mistake about it, bearing it past Mark Byzantine. At that point, it was 2-0 for the Knights, but since then the Dogs have come back with one.
Griffith and Nemesnikov have played together all season long, and they have a terrific chemistry.
Nice combination there.
Griffith undrafted, Nemesnikov a first-round pick of Tampa Bay Lightning.
Somebody's got to give Griffith a shot here at some point.
Well, you would think so. Led the team in goals during the regular season, leads the team in goals in the playoffs.
45 is no mistake.
That's a pretty good number. Knights up by a goal. Just under 8 minutes to go in the third. Shipley couldn't get far. Hughes knocked him off the puck. Crowd cheers as Max Domi gets those feet moving, dumps it in, chases Rover down, gives him a hard bump along the boards.
Things really starting to heat up, and you'll see a lot of the Ruperts and the Domis and the Tierneys with their speed, with their ability to get under Niagara's skin.
Well, look who's in attendance.
Yeah, and look who's with him. His old buddy Matt Sundin. Ty Domi anxiously looking on, and had the opportunity to spend some time with him in our trips here to London, and oh so proud of his son, and why wouldn't you be?
Oh, no doubt about it. To be a 16-year-old, finished third in rookie scoring in the OHL. Great future for Max Domi. Not quite a chip off the old block as far as Ty's style, but that's okay. Max's style might translate a little better down the road.
And it's interesting because the 2013 National Hockey League draft has scouts drooling all over the place with guys like Domi, Bo Horvat, his teammate, Nathan McKinnon, Jonathan Drouin, Anthony Duclair, Adam Erne, all those guys playing in either Quebec or Halifax. Zachary Fucali will be in that draft. I mean, oh boy, Curtis Lazar, it is Hunter Shinkarik. What a draft class that is.
Yeah, you want to tank next year, might be the year.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of monikers coming up to Seth Jones. Forgot about him. Just signed with the Portland Winterhawks. Big signing there.
Hauser behind his net. There's trouble now. He's still behind his net. Agozzino fanned on it. And that one's cleared by Matt Rupert. A great chance for the Ice Dogs with Hauser behind the goal and some bad luck for Agozzino.
The overage player of the year in the Ontario Hockey League, and he was far enough away, I'm not sure it would have meant anything, but at least getting the puck to the front of the net might have helped out. You see Hauser sliding back into position, but Agozzino fanning on the shot. The captain, absolutely beloved in the Niagara area for his work in the community and being an original member of the team when it moved from Mississauga.
Oh, off the face-off. What a play that was by Doan. He won that clean and got a lot on it. Hauser was alert, though.
Yeah, face-offs have been tough to come by the entire series for the Niagara IceDogs. And so Doan with a little bit different approach goes to the forehand and gets a good shot on goal. He surprised Watson with the tactic.
Watson doesn't let it happen this time. Wins the face-off. Knights get it out. Athanasiou and Alexiak. McKegg's in there, so is Dudera, and it's Dudera who circles the net. Bouncing puck at the Knights line. McKegg had it in his skates, and the Ice Dogs are offside.
Joel Weigel is rated for the upcoming National Hockey League draft. 113th overall. McKegg's already been drafted by Toronto, and a lot of Toronto Maple Leafs fans keeping an eye on the future. McKegg will be a big part of that.
31 goals during the regular season, has 4 in this postseason. He didn't play in the Kitchener series, keep in mind. A little bit banged up. He's good to go now. Tenorti gets it to his defense partner, Scott Harrington. Harrington off the glass. The save play. And not enough to be icing.
He's got that weight down pat now.
Dougie Hamilton, he'll have to be big in the final 6 minutes for Niagara. Thea right into the corner. Here's Dougie Hamilton, side of the net. It's in the slot. There's one. Stopped by Hauser. Shipley had a great chance. Another low shot. That hit a leg. Hamilton lets one fly. That's blocked, and the puck came loose. And Max Domi was back there to gather it up for London.
A couple of good chances by Niagara. Not saying quit whatsoever.
5.5 to go. Time winding down. Ice Dogs need one in a hurry. Luke Mercer. Crowd reacts as Jesse Graham was having trouble by the door of his bench.
The old banana peel.
Ryan Strome, he didn't have a lane to take it into the night zone, so he dumped it in. Let Hauser play it. And again, Strome gets in the face of Hauser. Crowd wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. Alexiak bouncing puck. Griffith takes it away. Sharp angle. Had a little bit of space. Griffith's good enough to find a tight spot like that, too. Ryan Strome. He hasn't scored in this series. Hard to believe. Trying to cut through 4 nights. It didn't work. Jesse Graham. Behind his own goal. A nice cheer from the fans. Under 4.5 to go. That one's right on Hauser, and there will be no chances taken by the London Knights at this stage of the game. 2-1. The Knights are hanging on, trying to capture an OHL championship. Time now for the save of the game, brought to you by Aaron's Lucky Dog. More features, lower prices, better products. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody.
Michael Hauser has all the action right in front of him. It's centered by Dougie Hamilton, and Shipley is there. But Michael Hauser, you lucky dog. Good stop with the left pad.
That was a big save by Hauser. Late stages of the third period. Knights had a 2-0 lead in the game. Thomas Kuhn-Hackel has scored in the third. It's 2-1, 4:22 remaining. Dougie Hamilton, a shot through traffic, blocked in front. Harrington's down on his knees. Puck never got to the goal. Agozzino, his shot blocked by Tenorti, and the Knights clear it to center. More blocked shots for the Knights.
6 goalies out there.
Luke Mercer to Dougie Hamilton. He fires one in. Scott Harrington chases after it, and he chops one out. The Go Knights Go chant starts again here at the John Labatt Center. Knights have not captured a series in these playoffs on home ice. Ritchie a shot. Hauser, calm and cool, kicked it to the corner. Dougie Hamilton held on to that puck for a moment. 2-on-1 developing here. Seth Griffith has Rupert. Front of the net, pass didn't get through. Dudera gets knocked down by Rupert. Dudera able to get the puck out. Stephen Shipley. Sabres prospect, threw it in front. Ritchie had a crack at it. Ice Dogs are getting opportunities, and they'll get a face-off inside the London zone.
But not getting as many opportunities as they would like because of the blocked shot. I mean, team commitment. Austin Watson getting down and dirty. You see Scott Harrington go down to block a shot here. And it would just continue on, especially here in the third period. Tenorti, I mean, he's 9'8" already, and he must have blocked 6 shots in this game. And that's why he wears the C for Mark Hunter.
And you're not a plus 53 regular season and playoffs combined without sacrificing a little bit. And he wears that C. And there'll be a timeout here. Mark Hunter will call his timeout with 3:08 to go in the third period. Gives us a chance to check in again with Rob Faulds.
There's baseball action on Sportsnet 1. The Toronto Blue Jays are in a rain delay. First pitch is expected to be at 10 Eastern time, then again on Sportsnet 1. And as soon as this game is complete, we will join the Blue Jays in action.
Now, Blue Jays really taking it to Minnesota in game 1 of that series. Our game here on Friday Night Hockey is close.
What's new?
Yeah, double overtime last week. St. John, they took care of business. #1 team during the regular season in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. They're moving on to the MasterCard Memorial Cup. The Knights, 3 minutes and 8 seconds away. Niagara needs to find some magic. Kuhnhackl, he's the goal scorer. He couldn't get a shot away. Seth Griffith speeds the other way for London. Griffith lofts one on Byzantine, and he'll be forced to hang on.
Now you have to start thinking about what you want to do with your goaltender. Marty Williamson, the head coach, a quick peek up to the clock on that Niagara bench now and trying to time things properly. But this is a situation where you want to lean on your overage guys. You want to give the opportunity to the guys who will never play a junior game again. The Friesens, the Agozzino, David Pecan. And there's Friesen out there now as that.
All three of them are there. They're the forward line for the Niagara IceDogs. Dougie Hamilton will start the rush. Drops it off for Friesen. Friesen knocks Harrington down, gets the puck behind the net. Pecan in front, Agozzino got a shot. Hauser stopped, and then it's sent down the ice. That's right on goal, so play will keep on going.
Look at how calm Hauser is back there.
Oh, there was a jump in the overager's step there. Friesen, Hamilton. That shot is off the shoulder of Hauser and goes up and just touches the netting above the glass. And there'll be another whistle and another face-off inside the London zone.
Oh, there's Hauser. He's been dynamite all season long. Dynamite here in the playoffs, and he just continues his fine play as the puck goes to the front of the net. Hauser tracks it, stays square to it, and makes the save. And these fans here starting to sniff it at the JLC.
2:20 to go. A face-off win for London. Nada didn't get much on that clearing attempt. That could be trouble. Brett Ritchie moves it back to Alexiak. He winds and fires, and it's blocked by Namestnikov. Namestnikov's got the great wheels, but he's knocked down there, and it is offside. Hard to hear the whistles now with the crowd cheering heavily, but that clearly offside as Namestnikov's slow to get up. Looks like he's skating okay heading to the bench.
The puck was in his feet and then taking a wild whack at it.
Well, blocking an Alexiak shot didn't feel good either.
Yeah, but that, and then you get that on your toes afterwards, so a little bit of both. And then you had to know that after that blocked shot with his wheels, normally he'd be off in a breakaway in that situation.
Final 2 minutes. IceDogs find themselves hemmed in their own zone. Seth Griffith, he can't get a shot away. Alexiak and Graham converge on him. Alexiak moves it behind his own goal. Graham gives it back to Alexiak. Lead pass to Theoret. Got it to center. Now he'll be able to dump it in. Hauser out to play it again. Hauser's got that angle down pretty well. Crowd cheers every time the Knights get it outside their zone. Dougie Hamilton, there's a mess of bodies over by that Niagara bench. Hamilton jumps into the play. Pecan sends it deep. This overage line out there again. It's Freddy Hamilton out there with Pecan and Agozzino, Thomas Kuhnhackl, the extra attacker out there for the Niagara IceDogs. Minute 5 to go. Puck in the neutral zone. Niagara has to get it into this London zone, apply a little pressure. Maybe they will here. Pecan has Friesen, close quarters, crowds on its feet. Dougie Hamilton to Pecan. Freddy Hamilton can't get a shot away. The puck's knocked out, and it will get outside the line. Ryan Strome ahead to Freddy Hamilton. No shot, sent it in deep. Pecan's on it. Freddy Hamilton in front. Kuhnhackl can't knock it down. Dougie Hamilton can't get a good shot away. And it's cleared out. What a battle there by Ryan Rupert to send it down the ice. It will be icing, but a momentary relief for the Knights.
Oh, boy. Things really starting to tighten up. This building entirely on its feet. And we heard it was so loud here 2 games ago, and that deafening sound starting to enter the building once again. And there's Rupert, wins the battle. Hamilton breaks his stick on him, and still Rupert fights through it to get it down the ice.
28.4 seconds remaining. Greg McKegg, Freddy Hamilton, an important face-off right here to the left of Michael Hauser. And McKegg's going to make sure everything's in order on Freddy Hamilton's side. And another missed draw, and right away Agozzino is talking to the referee. There's about a second came off the clock, just under a second. So right away, the veteran Agozzino, the captain, he spotted that and pointed it out right away. Time's back on the clock. McKegg wins the face-off, but the IceDogs in on the forecheck. Friesen, his shot, that lofts up high. Tenorti banks one out. Will that have enough for icing? It won't be icing. 12 seconds to go. Dougie Hamilton has no time to waste. The lead pass. Agozzino can't get a shot away. Harrington sends it out. And that will do it. The London Knights celebrate an OHL championship.
Somewhere in Washington, Dale Hunter's having a cold one.
The London Knights, the #1 team in the OHL during the regular season, and they carried that over into the playoffs. They get through the first round in a sweep against Windsor. Took them 6 games to get by Saginaw. They trailed that series 2-1. Kitchener was a sweep. They lost game 1 of this series against Niagara in double overtime, but then put together 4 straight wins. And the London Knights have punched their ticket to the MasterCard Memorial Cup.
Michael Hauser, sensational all season long. Top goaltender in the Ontario Hockey League, MVP in the Ontario Hockey League. And it wouldn't shock me if he earned those honors for the playoffs with his play all postseason long.
And surprise, surprise, London outshot again, 27-22, but Hauser and plenty of help with a lot of blocked shots. But the ones that got through, Hauser was able to stop all but one, 26 saves. And the London Knights, how about the way this MasterCard Memorial Cup is shaping up?
Oh, boy.
The Knights, the #1 team in the OHL. They pull it off in the playoffs. St. John, the #1 team in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. They get it done in the playoffs. So the Q, the O, the #1 teams are moving on to Shawinigan, and that will start next week.
Mark Hunter there, so excited. You don't see a ton of emotion from him all the time. Basil McRae in there as well, part owner of the franchise. I said Dale Hunter was somewhere in Washington. He's probably in New York by now, but I know he is watching this wherever he may be, and he'd be proud of punch of this hockey club that he started coaching at the start of the year.
The London Knights, you look at them offensively, led by 17-year-olds. But 2 guys, if you look at the score sheet, don't get a ton of credit. Jared Tenorti and Scott Harrington, what a defensive combination they are. They're 1-2, heading out to shake hands. 2 leaders of this hockey club for the London Knights, and they are not fun to play against.
And when you go into the MasterCard Memorial Cup, they will be one of the top 3 defensive shutdown pairings in the tournament. There'll be a couple of guys on Edmonton if they make it. Portland with Witherspoon, Murkowski. You know, you've got that group in there. Joey Morrow. You've got Gagne and Durapo with the St. John IceDogs. But, boy, Tenorti and Harrington, tough duo to beat in the back end.
Well, Andrew Agozzino, what a great OHL career for him, overage player, 3 years as captain of the Niagara IceDogs. There's Alex Friesen, another overage player. What a career those two have had. David Pacan, the other one, his OHL career finished as well.
That's the toughest thing to face. You see the 20-year-olds on their way out, not without a maximum effort from this group. But the bounces just didn't go the way of the Niagara IceDogs, and give the London Knights full credit. Balanced scoring up and down the lineup. It was the old guys or the young guys. It didn't seem to matter. And then when they fell behind, got into trouble, they leaned on that guy right there, Michael Hauser. A brilliant, brilliant series.
Well, Hauser was fantastic. The London Knights, OHL champions, and Rob standing by with their captain.
Jared Sonorti, that's got a nice ring to it. OHL champions.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, the feeling's indescribable. I'm so proud of the guys out there and what they accomplished. It's an unbelievable feeling.
Against a team like this, you guys really had to use defense, and you shut them down.
Yeah, I think it started out of the goaltender, Michael Hauser. If we didn't have him, I don't know where we'd be right now. And it's a big shout out to him and how well he's played for us all year.
Now you only get a short period of time to really enjoy this because you have to go right back to work.
Yeah, we still got a job to do. We're going to go up to Shawinigan with high hopes there and play hard.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jared Sonorti, the captain of the London Knights. He's now waiting for that very special moment to receive the J. Robertson Cup.
Such a special trophy. And the special play, we call it the play of the game, brought to you by Bauer Hockey.
And it's one of those breaks that the Niagara IceDogs felt most of this series. Luke Mercer takes his spill, and as he's going backwards, it turns into a 2-on-1 for Nemesnikov and Griffith. Nemesnikov with a beautiful pass. Griffith with equally as good a finish, and basically finishing the series with that goal.
Well, some big goals. Griffith gets the game winner in this one. Mata had a game winner, Tierney had a game winner, Nemesnikov had a game winner, so 4 different game winners in this OHL championship. And Rob standing by with the man who got it done on this night to clinch the championship. Rob, take it away.
Seth Griffith gets the goal that gives the London Knights the Ontario Hockey League championship. You guys worked hard all series long, in fact, all playoffs long.
Yeah, we came into the playoffs knowing we could win it, and we just kept things simple to all 4 series, and it paid off.
You guys scored an awful lot of goals throughout the year, but you kind of trimmed down the goal scoring to work on the defense.
Yeah, playoffs, it's not about the points and stuff like that. We want to take care of our own end first, and I think we did a good job of that all along, and all year too. But it paid off tonight.
This is a team that's pretty young and is going to build for the future. To get to this point, it's a great chance for the London Knights.
Yeah, everyone thought we were pretty young, but at the same time, we knew we were good at the start of the year, and this was our goal at the beginning of the year, and we just came out here and did what we did.
Very special presentation coming. Go join it, Seth.
Thanks a lot.
Seth Griffith gets the winner, and now the London Knights prepare to get what they've been working so hard for all season. Let's join RJ and Sam.
Yeah, no question. They had a great regular season. They carried it through into the playoffs. Seth Griffith, another young player, just turned 19 in January, and there's the hardware. There's the MVP and the J. Ross Robertson Trophy.
It'd be interesting to see if they touch the trophy. I mean, you obviously want to touch it. You're the OHL champ, but some believe that we still have one more to win. I'm sure they'll give it a hoist.
All right, well, we'll soon find out. Let's go to PA announcer Mike Deloy with the presentation.
and first London Knights since 2005 with Coyle. This year's recipient had 10 goals, 7 assists, but more importantly, what set him apart was his passion in killing penalties, courage in blocking shots.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Robertson Cup is awarded annually to the champion of the Ontario Hockey League. The cup was presented in 1910 by J. Ross Robertson, who was the president of the Ontario Hockey Association from 1901 to 1905. Tonight marks the 102nd time that the Robertson Cup has been awarded for junior hockey supremacy in Ontario. Commissioner Branch will now present the Robertson Cup to the 2012 OHL champions.
First of all, I would just like to congratulate the London Knights Hockey Club. I mean, what an incredible year. Winning the Hamilton Scorpion Trophy, winning 16 of 19 playoff games. It really is an example of excellence, and it starts at the top. And I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank Dale and Mark Hunter for what they've meant to the Ontario Hockey League. To the coaching staff, to the support staff, to all the scouts, to the players who are the most important people in our game, you're very, very special. To your parents, to all your fans here in London, London is now. I declare London the capital of hockey.
The London Knights celebrate with the J. Ross Robertson Trophy. It's time for a picture with it. They are the OHL champions. First time they've captured this trophy since 2005, and that was a good year for the London Knights. They also captured the MasterCard Memorial Cup that year. Still some work to be done for this group. A great regular season carried over into the playoffs, and an OHL championship. Next week, they'll find themselves in Shawinigan, battling against the Cataracts, the St. John Sea Dogs, and the yet-to-be-determined WHL representative. The London Knights are OHL champions. Blue Jays Central, Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn is next.